deep inside, walls overhead, you can't hide it. There's a fire in your chest, messages come through the tears. Need moments, wide-eyed and true, I keep getting closer to you. One another, life's the plan, we're made to understand. When the air starts to shake, we don't back, we awake. Say the word, I'm all in, truth is pulling us in. We're leading the way to beyond the day. Power ignite, cosmic exposure. Hands up high, feel it take over. Unstoppable chemistry shining through the night. Anomalies deep on the screen, patterns clean, all sharp and mean. Evidence stacking line by line, real true circles back in time. Breaking it down, I call the facts. You bring the spark, I track the tracks. That's how we roll, that's how we win. One another ignites our mission. When the air starts to shake, we don't back, we awake. Say the word, I'm all in, truth is pulling us in. We're leading the way to beyond the day. Power ignite, cosmic explosion. Hands up high, feel it take over. Unstoppable chemistry shining through the night. When I say beam, you say up. When I say truth, you say now. Lights appear, everything shifts. We stand here, no scripts, you break it down and bring the spark. Together we light up the dark. Leading the way to this day. Give me up, break it down, we own this fight. Unstoppable chemistry, forever in the light. Hands up high, feel it take over. Leading the together we own the night. Stars still calling, keep breaking it down. Leading the way together. SNX Radio, ColeyUFO, lock in, let's go.
I'm a walk-in, chips up, chrome on the kicks. Talk big talk, got codes, got trips. If I see you flex, boy, that's cute, that's small. I run this grid, one ping, you stall.
I'm the glitch in your perfect one. I'm the girl turn a joke to a loaded gun.
You call control, I call it luck. You call it game,
I call it us.
you wanna climb, I'm already upstairs. You wanna shine, I'm burning the flares. Step in my lane, you slip, you slide.
Say my name once.
Then we ride
Beat me up, Coley, turn this up too loud.
too loud.
SNX crazy, shake the whole damn crowd. You call, I respond, we collide on the floor. When the baseline hits, they be begging for more.
Beat me up, police, and the signal through. If you ride for the way, better say that too. You say yo, yo, you say yo, yo.
When that truck comes in, we don't have to shut up. Oh! I talk slick in a candy crawl. Hair slick back, I was born to brawl.
And I swing with a diamond lip gloss. Step on next and design a cross.
Old school fade with a brand new glitch. At the strip, make a rich kid itch.
You want that, bring that crown, that
I
throne.
don't want that boat.
And we ride our own. You feel that heat, that's us in the room. You feel that tilt that you're old like doom. Counting down from 3, then 1.
When I say jump,
You run.
beat me up, Coley, turn this up too loud.
Too loud.
SNX crazy, shake the whole damn crowd. You call, I respond, we collide on the floor. When the baseline hits, they be begging for more.
Beat me up, police, and the signal through. If you ride for the way, better say that too.
You say yo, yo, you say yo, oh. When that truck comes in, we don't ever shut up.
in place.
Who can move when I twist this space?
One little click, then the world goes bright. Lose light, all in the clouds, still stomp that ground. Out in the dark, still run this town.
Talk to the back that claim.
Say ColeyUFO. Say my name.
Beam me up, Coley, turn this up too loud.
Too loud.
SNX crazy, shake the whole damn crowd. You call, I respond, we collide on the floor when the baseline hits, they be begging for more.
Give me your phone, get a signal through. If you rock with the wave, better say that too. You say yo.
You say yo. When that drum comes in, we don't ever shut up.
Wait.
Hey! Come on! Cheer, cheer, cheer! Hey! Hey! Hey, hey, hey!
Feelers are calling. SNX radio is live tonight.
Anomalies dropping, feel the cosmic drive.
Channel of flame and medium with the light.
Break it down, right?
It's the best passion, you lift them high.
Evidence loaded, sharp in every line.
Experience a heart, raw and deeply real.
A truth that we seal.
Unstoppable force, no one can deny. Paving the way on this cosmic beat.
High strangeness rising, veil getting thin.
Cases we're breaking, let the truth rush in.
Never leading the way, night and day. Truth beyond disclosure, hear the people say.
We want to fire, spiritual flow so deep.
Analytical mind patterns that we keep.
Together with a balance, heart and mind unite.
Unstoppable duo, shining through the night. We're leading the way to beyond disclosure. Power ignite, feel the cosmic exposure. Hands up high, never back down. Unstoppable force, taking over disclosure. We're leading the way to beyond disclosure. Power ignite, feel the cosmic exposure. Hands up high, never back down. Unstoppable force, taking over disclosure. We're leading the way. Passionate rants with that wild spark.
Steady breakdowns, lighting up the dark.
Synergy stronger, no one can compete.
Paving the future, watch the whole world see.
We break it down deep, make the truth reveal. Guests spilling accounts from the front lines true. Saucers dancing silent, radar can't pursue. This ain't theory, this the raw disclosure sound. On SNX radio, we holding it down.
We will go lead me up, lights in the sky. We never stop.
True warriors tonight, never gonna stop.
Lead me up, lead me up.
Break it down. We're leading the way to beyond disclosure. Rebel and night, feel the cosmic exposure. Hands up high, never back down. Unstoppable force, taking over disclosure. Leading the way to beyond disclosure. Rebel and night, feel the cosmic exposure. Hands up high, never back down. Unstoppable force, taking over disclosure. Leading the way.
ColeyUFO on SNX radio. Whole room lean when the signal go. Maya Starfire got that spark on glow. Two names hit and the code that fold. ColeyUFO, don't leave me low. Maya Starfire, let the whole thing roll. Hands in the sky, let the rumor show. One more second and we all know. ColeyUFO, beat me
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I'm Coley, also known as ColeyUFO, and it's so great to see everybody. We're kind of going back to back. We had a great show last night. If you guys did not see or meet Werewolf yet, you'd love David. He was on. We talked about. He's got some great ideas, so definitely. I'm really enjoying Fridays, you guys. So as long as we keep it going, and two, if you guys see Lori Ladd, I found the best way of communication is through. Tell her that I'm just getting everything situated and I got everybody's email and I'm just going to issue a date and time as soon as I get everybody confirmed. So absolutely. Thank you so much, Amy. I see you were up in there. You are really like working those comments, girl. And I appreciate it getting all those links out there. And I officially, if you guys didn't see the post yet, I've officially got it to where now, as soon as this show renders, but so by the end, a couple hours from now, after it ends, excuse me, it will be dispersed off into 180 countries and it will keep growing from there. So I'm really excited. I was able to finally get that to happen. So it's going to be huge. And that's so everybody, your voices will be heard. And that's very important. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. We have a great guest today, but before I get to that, we're just going to run through chat really quickly. Amy, as always, thank you, girl. Love you. Bigfoot fan Cindy, you guys, she's a part of Pop's Cryptid panel every second and fourth Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Diane Booze, beam me up and light it up. I love it. Thank you, Diane, for doing that. Hey, Pops. Good to see you, and I'll be seeing you on Monday. And John Allen, it's great to see you too. Blackie, hey, and tell Erica I really appreciated her comment today. That was amazing. If you guys have not gone over to the Oddcast podcast, definitely go over and give Blackie and Erica a shout. They're great. Oh, we got Michigan Sandman's in the house already. Nice to see you. And I know I saw, let's see, I'm seeing you guys are awesome. I love it. I love the conversation. And I usually can get caught back up once I get going, but yeah, I don't get to see it when I'm dropping that link live, but I love it, you guys. I appreciate it so much. Everything helps. So Judy Wheeler, it's great to see you, Judy. Let me see here. I love it. I love it. Sometimes I'll catch some of the comments. We got Eloy. She was on also. If you have missed her show, definitely check it out 2 Fridays ago. And you know what? I figured out the internet. And I'm going to own it since I did tell Werewolf. I did not have the Ethernet cord. It wasn't clicked in all the way. So that's when it was the internet, a couple internet issues after we moved. But we're good. We're good to go. Moon at Noon. It's always great to see you. Thank you, Moon. We got Mancon. It's great to see you. 65. Welcome. And we have, I know I saw more. I love seeing stuff. You guys are so funny. I said, we literally have the best group ever. We really do. I mean, I could not be more blessed than this group. We protect it. Hey, Mr. Catfish, it's great to see you. Judy Wheeler, yeah, I'm so glad to see you. We miss you when you're not here. So yes, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So today, it is my honor, my privilege. This guest is absolutely amazing. And it really falls in line with some of the stuff. His name is John SEER. And he has... he's a former Royal Navy sailor. At ages 16, he witnessed a solid UFO on a radar and visually as a star white, bright disc in the middle of it. It scrambled for decades. Downloads he deals with the NHI, which is the non-human intelligence, messages from, from entities describing themselves as your children's children. So from the sea and sky, I'm really looking forward to this. So I'm going to go ahead because John, I feel like he can tell his own story. He's absolutely amazing. And we were talking about it backstage, and we're going to kind of start from the beginning, which I think is absolutely beautiful. So without further ado, it's my honor, it's my privilege to welcome Mr. John SEER to the SNX Radio. Thank you, John, so much.
Thanks for inviting me. Congratulations on the international reach.
Exciting. Yes. I'm so excited to get people's voices because this information is so important and I feel everybody should have access to it.
Not just English speaking people. That's good.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That is so important. I said, there's somebody in my chat, Benoit, Benoit, if it's spelled that way, but it's like Benoit. He's French. He'll go and listen to these live, and he is translating them because the translation doesn't come in until it's rendered. But he has, I mean,
Right.
these are how great people are. But I thought, what if I could make this easier? Eventually, hopefully, it will just be translated all together. But I would love to make this so everybody could participate.
Well, it's great because advanced beings and anything spiritual isn't just going to be interested in the English people and the American people. They go
And
all
it's
over
a
the place.
division. It keeps us
It's not just
divided.
ours,
No,
very much not. So it's
not at
great.
all.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have such an interest. Why don't you take us back to in the beginning of when all of this kind of started to
Well, I
transpire
just
for
want
you?
to say that this often gets it must be my fault. It gets interpreted wrong that I get the messages from the what people call non-human intelligence, which is something I'd like to talk to
Hmm.
you about, actually calling it that. But what the experiences did for me, I believe, I'm told, is they opened up an ability that everybody has. It's not something that I'm the only one. There's thousands and millions of people. Everyone, in fact, has got a soul. Have the ability to contact the greater conscious through their conscious, whether it's via what people call the third eye or whatever they want to call it. I like to call it my natural Wi-Fi, connecting to the natural internet, because then my kids understood that. So that's what I call it.
Yes. It's
I
crazy
like
because
terms.
you hear NHI was never even going back. And it's like, then all of a sudden everybody's calling it this or everybody's calling it
It's
that. I
really
like that,
interesting. I think there's a lot of skullduggery going on with naming things from the powers that be, because before I explain what's happened to me, because three things happened to me, main things, many things happened to me, but like you with the UFO experience that you had,
Mhm.
it then sparked something off. Well, these things that happened to me, I believe, opened up my ability with my natural Wi-Fi stronger than it was before. Some people do it, and I believe some people are just naturally already there. I wasn't. I needed things to happen to me for it to start happening. And the three
Yes.
main things are really interesting. Well, people tell me they're really interesting stories, so I tell them. And also, it helps people not think that I'm just somebody saying I get these messages and I could be making it all up. It lends a sort of credibility to it because I explain how it's happened. So that's why I
Yes.
tell the
Oh,
three
I love
stories.
that. I love that
Um,
because it's different and it's so hard to maybe translate. Like, I know exactly what you mean when you're getting message when I call and an experiencer will understand this. And I think that we have a
yeah.
transmitter. I know that I do, like, and I have a way of even, making it's crazy stronger. Like, but it is it's not like, yeah, you're right. Cause there's some people that are like, oh, I got a message from the great beyond. It's like, this isn't like that. This is not like that. And I'm glad that you said that.
Well, yeah, I do. I suppose if I would say that, but there's a reason for it. Is what I'm trying to say. But I
Mhm.
don't get the messages from what people call the NH, the non-human intelligence. I got a message on the warship, which I'll explain, and I have had a couple of messages from a different being in my life, only two. But the messages that I get are downloads from what I call the greater conscious, and my wife and my personal Wi-Fi, natural Wi-Fi, is connecting to the greater Wi-Fi, if you want to call it. But some people call it God, so I call it greater conscious, whatever you want to call it. That's where they're coming from. I'm not speaking to the little chaps. They only spoke to me once on the ship, and I don't have any communication from them. I get the information direct from the place that they get their information from. So uh, you know, I need to clarify that because it's been I've explained it maybe wrongly in the past, but I needed to say that.
I'm
Firstly.
glad you did. Thank you.
Um,
Because it
yeah,
gets written sometimes, and then it gets you look into somebody's bio. I've seen things of my own that have been, and I try and do
yeah.
the same thing. It's like,
It's
but
hard to take it all in because there's so much
yes.
to listen to. It's hard to, so that's important. Right. The first thing that happened to me was when I was 9 years old. I had a very serious head injury. You can only just see a scar now that I can put my finger in, but it went up towards the where you get the old dot, you know,
Yeah,
the old
I have
eye
one
dot.
too.
It went cracking them up. Oh,
Oh,
really?
wow.
You can put your
Right here.
finger in it. Look.
Yeah.
But that
It's
was
like
a
a
lot worse.
ridge.
When I was 9, yeah, when I was 9 years old, this was all blown out here. This was all blown out here, and there's a big hole when I was 9. And thankfully, the doctors were right, and
Oh, I
I
did
suppose it would be
too.
marrow, would it, from the bone
Oh,
covered
there's
it,
a
and it all got better over the years. Obviously, I got scorned a lot at school
oh.
because I looked like the Elephant Man. Got called Spudhead, which was a lovely thing to call a
That's
9 year
it's
old.
so
Anyway,
interesting that you had one and I had one at the same time. I fell off the top of a really, really high, like metal sled that we had back in the day at a park, and it went down and hit on a concrete. And I mean, these slides are like about 10
right.
feet climbing up
Well,
them.
don't discard that because as just a thing that happened, because it may have happened before your UFO experience then, because getting bashed on the head, you maybe should do a whole program on it, because
Yeah.
getting bashed on the head to a point when you nearly die, it seems to be something that happens to people, and it's a tragedy, like a lot of tragedy in life, that turns into a miracle,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yes.
it's interesting that, because it really is a thing, people getting bashed on the head, and then something strange starts happening to them. Well, I got bashed so badly, I went into a coma for weeks.
Oh,
They didn't know if I
wow.
was going to come out of it. I was 9 years old. Obviously, my parents were, really upset about it. But what happened was, while I was in my hospital bed, I remember, and this was only for a fleeting second, I was looking down on myself in bed with all the wires and everything going into.
Mm.
I can visualize it now. And Shim's on my right, and I was looking down on myself, my head at the top in the hospital, and then off I went to a place that I can. It wasn't a room. It was a place of white light, and it obviously had some kind of floor because I was walking on something, but there wasn't a floor, but there was. There was nothing, no distance or walls. It was just white everywhere, and it was felt wonderful. It felt, I don't know, how I can explain it. A lot of the things I explain far better in the book, because I'm, you know, have more time to think of what to say. But it
It's like
was
that
all I
ultimate
can say.
peace.
It was beautiful. It was peace and beautiful.
Mhm.
On my left was an even stronger white light, um, a really, really powerful white light that was drawing me to it. And I wanted to go to it. Now, bear in mind, I was 9 year old that loved my mum and dad a lot, and I had a great life. They were they were they pretty much spoiled me. So I was a very loved child. So it wasn't as if I was having a bad time at home. But all I wanted to do is to go to this light. It was just so incredibly beautiful and loving, and there was a lot of courage coming from it that made me feel very comfortable and very warm and protected. Just pure courage coming from it. And then love after that. And it's important that, because people think that love is first in this light. It's not. Courage is first in this light, and then love comes, because it's the opposite of fear. Of
Oh.
course, I realized that afterwards. That's what the light is. So when I was being drawn to it, but then there was an entity on my left that stopped me. Felt like a teenage boy, somebody a bit older than me that was still comfortable for me, but enough authority to stop me, if you see what I mean, as a 9 year
Yes.
old boy. And the teenage boy said to me, "You can't go. You've got to go back. I'm sorry, you have to go back." And I said, no, I don't want to go back. And it said, you have things to do. You must go back. And then the next minute, I woke up and there's nurses running around shouting, he's awake, he's awake.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Obviously, that was my first experience. It's a short one, but trust me, it was life changing. A typical 9-year-old, I just accepted it though, and just thought, oh, it must happen to everybody. And
You
just carried on.
wonder. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I
it
was just
turns
more
out
bothered
it's like,
about,
ooh.
I know, I was just more bothered about getting through school looking like a spudhead and all those problems, and not really thinking, oh, I just died and someone just sent me back. I didn't even, I'm not even sure I even mentioned it very much to my mum. I spoke about it when I was in my 20s to my mum, but I don't think I even really spoke about it then. So it's
I
funny,
did
isn't
not
it, what
hear
kids are
you
like?
had a near-death
Bounce back.
experience. I did not.
Yeah, that was the way it
That's
started.
Yes, and, you know what? When
On
those
the head.
things come, don't you think I mean, like you said, at first, it was like you're a kid, you're worried about, "Oh my god, I got a huge, like," but then, you see it later, and it's like, I think we have these checkpoints in life, like, it's
Yes.
like, when we're ready, like, "Hey, you're not gonna reach this. This is an activation point of something." But what I
Kids are
guess
so
nothing like a
feet on
lump
the
on the
ground.
head, you know?
I know. Kids are so feet on the ground, aren't they? They can have a horrible trauma happen to them and they just, oh, can I go and play on my bike? They're great. And I
Mhm.
think that's why it happened then, because it was just something for later, you know?
Oh,
So that was
wow.
the first one. That was the first one.
Did you grow up as like a medium, seeing spirits or anything like that? Or was there
Well, nothing really after that, um, in particular happened. Um, and nothing in particular happened after the second thing that I'm going to tell you. It was only until the third thing. Um, I mean, when I was hit on the head, the doctor said, the surgeon said, I don't know how you survived that. You must have you must have the thickest head, thicker than a man's normally. He was just joking, and my brother interpreted it as me just being thick, which he would as a brother, right? But maybe
Yeah.
I am a bit, probably am a bit thick because it took 3 times. It took 3 things before I could actually start getting these messages. So,
Third time's a
yeah, no,
charm, John.
yeah, no. In answer to that, I can't remember anything particular happening after that. Just carried on trying to get through school, and nothing after the second. It was only the third big jump. That was all three together. That's when the messages started coming through thick and fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
So shall I
interesting.
tell you about the second one?
I would love to hear about it.
Right. Um, there wasn't a lot of work going on. It was a recession in the UK. I really wanted to be an art student. Wasn't really my cup of tea, but all my family were forces right back to Doomsday Book. They've been in the forces, um, war heroes, and all this sort of stuff. Right. So there was
Oh,
no
yeah.
work. I'd missed a lot of school because of my head and a lot of disruption, obviously, with the way I looked at the time. So I didn't get. I wasn't at school a lot, and I didn't get very good qualifications. I'm not an academic person anyway. So I couldn't go to uni. I couldn't go do what I wanted to do, which was LP covers, rock LP covers, is what I wanted to do.
Oh, really?
But anyway, yeah. Anyway, um, so I ended up joining the Navy
Thank you for your
and
service.
moving to do so. So moving forward, I was 16 years old. I had a duty, which was to check some machinery on board the ship on the bridge. Now, I have to say that obviously this is linked with the armed forces. So I'm very careful because I'm loyal to our navies. Both our navies do a great job
Yes,
together.
they do.
And I don't whistle blow on things because it's up to them if they want to talk about it. But all I can do is talk about my experience on board. I won't
Sure.
mention the name of the ship or the skipper or anybody. Obviously, I have a pseudonym for the book, so people can't link me up to the ship. That's the reason why I use a pseudonym. So I can't be linked up to the ship, and they find out what the ship was. So I'm very careful not to. But I'll just tell you the story. Basically, I was on my way up to the bridge. I was 16 years old, and I was going to check a piece of equipment, which was part of my watch duties. I was walking into the bridge, and just on the right hand side of the bridge, there's a radio operator's office, which has radar in it and a black curtain to keep it dark. And I could see my mate, the RO, in there, and he was waving me in all excitedly, which he never did. He just normally just chatted to me when we're off watch. So anyway, I opened the curtain. Never been in there before. It's an amazing place. I opened the curtain, shut it, and came in to see him. And he was pointing at the radar. He's going, "Look at this! Look at this!" And I looked at it. It was a white block on the radar. He says, "It's just come up. It's just come in. It's just come in. Look at it. Go and have a look." So anyway, that's interesting, isn't it? Because that proves
Yes.
it's not an aerial phenomena, it's an object. Because otherwise, if it was just a phenomena, the radar wouldn't be picking it up. So
Oh,
that's
that's
why I still
interesting.
call them UFOs,
I do
not
too.
phenomena. Yeah, right.
Well,
So
it's
anyway,
then people associate the UAP with the military, which I understand, but I grew up with when it started, UAP was not a thing, and so the UFOs are what I always call them.
my own
But
opinion is
yes.
why people keep changing the name of things, but it's an object, and and the radar was bouncing off it, so it's solid. It's real. So anyway,
Oh,
so I went through the curtain, out through the curtain, went onto the bridge. If you can imagine the bow, which is the front of the ship, the pointy bit, if you can imagine that pointing at say 12 o'clock, about 10 o'clock, I'd say I'm going to do this in house sizes. About 3 houses high above the sea was a bright star with a disc-like white shape within the star. That's the way I can describe it. Now, if you want to, I drew the cover of my book
oh
myself,
yes.
so people could see what I saw. These are stones
Oh
from some.
wow. Okay.
Just ignore that for a bit. Just that basically is what I saw. Right, as close
Okay.
as
I
I
was
could
trying to
get.
recreate it with I should have looked at your book. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put
Yeah,
the image up for people too. So I got
yeah.
it
I'll
now.
send you the. I think I sent it you.
Yes, I have it. I've just got it. So I'll go ahead and I didn't think of even showing the cover because I didn't realize that was the inspiration for it. But I was reading about the bright white disc that you had saw.
Yes. You put a window up in front of my screen now. I think. Um, I don't know how
Oh,
to get rid of that now.
what window is it?
Just something's just come up in front of it. But anyway, shall I just carry on regardless? 'Cause I can't see you.
Here. I can see
Where
you
do I go?
okay. Are you able to
Oh,
see
there
me
you go.
now?
It's all right, it's gone. It's gone. Sorry about that, everybody.
No, 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 it's
Okay.
okay. StreamYard acts weird sometimes. It does stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what to. So yeah, just if
That's
it does happens again, let me know and I'll take care of it.
only when you're talking about getting the picture up. It just came up and went back, went off again. Anyway, so right, so I'm up on the bridge, and there's basically a star in front of us, and the young officers then called for the captain because they're not always captains aren't always on the bridge. They have time off, of course. And he was great. The skipper was, but I don't know how long he'd been at sea, but he'd been at sea twice as long as I've been alive, at least. very experienced guy. And he came up onto the bridge and he looked at it, Coley, and just went, like he'd seen so many before. It was just like me seeing an albatross.
Wow.
Seriously. Yeah. I mean, that I always remember that. In this
That's
time
awesome.
of amazing things, I remember that part. And the first thing he said was, right, okay, contact the civilian airbase, the nearest civilian airbase, check there's no civilian aircraft. Next, check the military airbase, make sure there's no military aircraft. So we waited for that. I'm just standing there, sort of, like a deer in headlights, sort of watching it. And
Did you feel like that you were it was something that you were supposed to see or supposed to do you think that the military was in on that part of it, or do you think it was really an organic that he came running up to you and confirmed it?
The chances of me going up there, I only had to go up and check that machine once or watch, and the chances of me going up there mathematically is quite slim that I would have gone up at that time. So I do believe it was definitely meant. And when I tell you what happened, you'll see why I think that.
Sure.
Because something happened. I'll tell you about the story, and I'll tell you what happened to me while. Anyway. So the civilian airbase came back and said there are no civilian aircraft in the area. Then immediately afterwards, the military airbase came back and said there are no military aircraft in the area. So then the skipper brought us to action stations, which basically means that you get to a state where there is a potential threat. You shut all the hatches. Everybody, the gunners go to guns. All that. You've probably seen it in the movies, right? Very serious.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he called the military base and asked for air backup.
Oh wow.
Um,
Because this was something that holds global air dominance, like air superiority over it, like anything that you guys had seen before, or it was just so unusual. Like, and
I was
16. It like a
16. I'd only been at
maneuver?
sea for 10 months. I was coming up 17. I hadn't seen anything like this before. Nobody else had seen anything like this before, only the skipper,
Wow.
as I could see, because nobody else knew what it was. Nobody else knew what to do, that I could see. The only person that looked like he'd seen one before was the skipper. And, he was a salty old guy. He'd been a long time at sea. But so what I did was I went to the starboard side of the ship. Bear in mind this is 1980, so it was an old ship then. So I went to the starboard side, which is the right-hand side for people who haven't been at sea, and there's a door there with a big sheet of glass that I could see through, and I was looking out for the jets coming, waiting to see wait for them to come. So I was looking there, and I was also looking at the UFO, watching UFO, because I didn't want to miss it going. I was really keen then, and just looking around again, and most of the time just watching the UFO, obviously, because I've seen airplanes many times. It only took about 15-20 minutes before the jets arrived. Incredible speed that they were going at. Never seen jets go that quick. They were on full tilt. You could tell from the thrust coming out the back that they were absolutely foot to the floor,
Oh
And as they
yes.
came
Full
banking round.
throttle.
Yeah, full throttle, loud. And they came around the starboard side of the ship, and they were banking round together, like they're one in front of the other, one slightly above.
Were they
And
like
they went.
F-18s or F-16s or something?
Well,
That were
I'll tell you a funny story about that in a bit. But we'll come back to that. But
okay.
they went. So they were going really fast around the ship, and then they started pointing towards the UFO. And I'm watching this going on, and the point of the ship, the bow of the ship, the skipper's getting the. It's in those days, believe it or not, we still had a wheel, big old wheel, and he was just turning the wheel slowly, right? And the front of the ship was
Yeah.
slowly. I've forgotten one thing that's really important. This is about 300 miles north of Scotland, and normally the North Atlantic is terrible. It's one of the roughest seas in the world. And it was flat like a mill pond that night, which is interesting, isn't it? It was really, really flat with a slight swell and a bit of moonlight. So it was beautiful. It was really beautiful and very clear. So anyway, so the ship is just going gently and gently towards pointing at the UFO, and the jets are rocketing towards it, if you can imagine. And I'm watching this through the front of the bridge. And
How
the
exciting,
moment,
though. Were you nervous,
yeah,
scared,
I,
excited, all at the
no,
same
not
time?
nervous at all, not the
No.
slightest, which is interesting. And I realize it now, and I'll explain that. But as the ship pointed dead center, pointed at the UFO, and as the jets got within, I'd say about, it's hard to tell distance when you're at sea and there's nothing else to take it by, nothing else to gauge things by. But I would, at a guess, quarter of a mile away. That's just a guess, though. The UFO just went gone. Now, I know it didn't disappear because it left a vapor trail, a 45-degree angle vapor trail, right up into as far as it didn't even know the sky could go that far. Just as far as you could see, there was a vapor trail, but it just went like that and left this vapor trail, 45-degree angle, right?
Wow. They're pulling some
Then,
G's in.
yeah, beyond that, which I can talk about actually, because there's a bit of a message I got about that.
I graduated undergraduate school in aviation, so I had my pilot's license. So I'm into aviation. If you're wondering why,
like the info I got on this,
yeah.
I'll tell you that in a minute. Anyway, so because it's right in the middle of the story, it's really it gets good. The jets then turned around. Well, as that happened, the lead pilot said, "Jesus Christ, it's gone, it's gone." He said that, and he could hear it over the tannoy. Right? So as they turned around, they came round to the port side of the ship, and the skipper said, "Can we confirm an unidentified flying object?" And I imagine it's the lead pilot. I don't know for a fact, but I imagine the lead pilot's the one that answers the skipper.
Mhm.
Said, we can confirm an unidentified flying object." And at that moment, you could hear the crew cheering and clapping. And
Oh, cool.
they'd all been, anybody that missed it, I felt really sorry for. But there's an awful lot of the crew outside, both sides, all the way down all the way down the stairs, everywhere. It was really loud cheer and clap. So there's lots of people were
Oh, how
watching it.
cool.
It
Cheering
was
it, yo, I
fantastic,
bet.
absolutely fantastic. And that moment, I was glad I hadn't gone in art college, and I was glad that I joined the Navy. Just that little bit, I was really glad that that, because how else would I have seen that? Yeah.
Yeah, those are those
What's funny,
moments, yo, definitely.
yeah, what's funny is, in answer to what the jets were, was that I went down to the mess afterwards, and it all calmed down. Obviously, it came out of battle stations, and we just went downstairs and went to nothing. But what was interesting was a couple of. It's amazing what people do when they see something that's incredible. Sometimes people can't compute it, and there's a couple of lads down there arguing about what type of aircraft we'd sent. I mean, I just looked at them and you'd just seen a UFO, and you're arguing about which aeroplane was it? Was it this super fast one that we just got from the States? Was it the one, the really good one we had already? Who cares? Who cares? You just seen a UFO. So I don't know. It wasn't my field. There were very fast aeroplanes and very nice, but they couldn't keep up. They're in a different league. So I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
really care.
that's what
I didn't
the
really
reason
care.
I asked is, John, is that I did
Yeah.
some cryptology and steganography in this, and the Navy was really big, and we got into the brevity coding in the Navy, and we were looking because a lot of the UFO stuff stems from the Navy. So I was just kind of
Yeah, well,
curious.
there's a reason for that. I can tell you that. I'll tell you why.
I'd
There's a
love to hear why.
100% reason. Right. But let me just tell you what actually happened to me on the bridge. Sorry,
No,
because it's important. It's an important part. In the 15, 20 minutes when I was waiting for the jets to come, I was standing in the corner there. I started feeling really strange with this light. You ever been in a woods when you think somebody's watching you and you
yeah.
feel like someone's looking really
Oh
deep
God,
into you?
yeah.
Well, times that by 100. It was a fact. I, we were getting scanned. Like, I was talking to one podcaster and he said, "Do you mean like spiritually scanned?" And that's a wonderful Jeff manner. He said, "Do you mean spiritually scanned?" And that's a really good way of saying it. And I thought about saying it like that because it was. I really felt like it wasn't a physical scanning. I feel like it was they were looking at the soul, the external, and because they could have chosen anybody to give this information, they're just about to tell you they told me. They could have chosen people with that are far more academic than me, far bigger brains, far more experience, like Skipper, for example. But they gave me the information, and I believe it's because of my near-death experience, and I was more open because of my near-death experience to accept them, not be frightened by them. I wasn't frightened at all. Because what
Sure.
I got immediately when I looked at them and I felt this scanning going on, and I just said, excuse the language, I said, it was a young sailor, so he swore a lot. Who the hell are you? That's what I thought. And then I just got a flash let me show you again. It's only half of the face, but I got a whole face. Right
Oh
now,
wow.
more grey, but the blue I put there is because there was a blue tint. There's like a blue tint around him, like like it was a remote of the inside of the ship.
I have the picture
Um,
pulled up. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there on the
yeah,
screen.
yeah. Well, imagine that as a whole face. I couldn't fit the whole face in. But basically, that's what I got. But obviously, a bit more lifelike than that's best I could do on an iPad. But basically, that's what I saw. That came up right in my face, like if you chat like I'm chatting to you now, but like a
Mhm.
real life WhatsApp that just went boing like that right in the face. And and then I got a message which was like a knowledge message with weight to it, not a guess, not I wasn't calculating anything. It was just from the blue and in my head, like a knowledge. It just said,
Mm.
"We are your children." Then it emphasized it, your children's children. We are from this, and then it said it in a way it was showing me images, the sea and the sky. We are from the
Sure.
sea and the sky. We're here to help, and the love. Now I know there's a lot of controversy about these little guys, about whether they're good and evil and all that. I don't. Well, I do know, but the the love that I felt, I only felt before when I died. It was that level of love, just
Oh wow.
slightly less than the bright light, but really close. It was incredible. So that's what they told me. We are your children, your children's children.
Mm.
Obviously, I've got a lot of information, 40 years of information explaining all that, but that's what they told me.
And that's where the
Um,
children comes from. Because when you look it up, sometimes it says it's
It's not,
AI. So I was
it's
confused
not,
by that.
you know, AI is not new. AI
Mhm.
is centuries, thousands of years old.
Yes.
We're not the first. It's anybody that's, we're
Okay,
so
I get
arrogant.
it.
We're the first people. If people believe, as I'm sure a lot of people do that are listening to us chatting, that there are thousands of hundreds of thousands of advanced life forms out there before us, especially if they have an opposing thumb, they will, and they did, and they have, and they still are getting to the crossroads of AI like we are right now, and they have done. And AI has been produced. So, an AI at an advanced level can do what they like, So, but the little people that I in contact with at that moment are us in the future, and they love
Mm.
us. I can
Oh.
explain the evolution. That's been explained to me. We can go into that during the podcast, or if we do one again. But it's quite simple when it's explained how we get to that stage. It's just a lot of common sense, really. But basically, yeah, that's what happened in that little stage. But just because you've done um, your pilot's license, you might want to know. As I was walking off, and I forgot to mention this on podcasts before, and I don't know why I forget to mention this, but I actually, when it went, I just thought to myself, because 16-year-olds, motorbikes, all that, they love speed and all that. So I thought, how the hell did it move that quick? And as I was walking down away from the bridge, I got an answer, which is
Mm.
incredible. And then more answers have come since then. And I just got thought speed, consciousness, thought speed.
Oh.
Yeah. And it turns out that it's something faster than light speed.
Oh.
It's good, that one, isn't
Isn't
it?
that
So
something?
they think
Yeah.
they're going.
Okay. You
They
just
think
opened
they're
a
going
whole new
somewhere.
book. Yes.
They just
That
think
makes
where they're going. They can think about the place. It's like a kind of manifestation. They think where they want to go, and they go.
wow. Yeah,
And they
that
also
and you know what?
explain,
That makes sense because when I travel, I think of what the place looks like, what people, that's how you can
yeah, you
that
do. I
makes
hadn't thought
actually
of
a
that.
lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
you do.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was also explained the mechanics of it to me. Yeah, I mean, I know the information came into me then, but it was still too much for 16-year-old. It's come through many, many times in the last 40 years, and explained that what they do, they use frequencies, and I don't mean sound. I
Mm-mm.
get a lot of trolling when I speak about frequencies, because it's the same frequencies that soften the stones to produce the polygonal tunnels on pyramids and things. And I get so much flack, and got
Well, you're
onslaught of long
telling so
stars
I always say you're
on my
doing something
book.
good when they do that.
Yeah, oh yeah, well they say that. I knew an old bomber pilot, and he said when when you're over the target when you're getting the most flack, boy. So
Well,
yeah, I
as
get
I
a
was
lot of
kinda
flack,
telling you
a
backstage,
lot of
I was,
flack.
put on frequency machines as a kid. So I was a frequency, and it was high different so it's a little bit different than, you know what I mean, people understand, but I understand what you're a lot of the Rife
Yeah,
machines
I
and stuff
mean,
like that.
there's so many. I'm told that there are so many frequencies that we don't have a clue. We haven't got a clue about different frequencies. And even the electromagnetic frequency, we haven't got a clue about it. But it's explained things in another reason why I think I've been one of the millions on this planet that are being contacted to speak out, is because I'm not academic. I don't use big words. I'm not. I don't explain things. My filter is very simple, so it explains things to me in a really simple way. So when I explain something to him, I've explained how the UFO moves that quickly to my daughter when she was about 9 or 10. and she understood it. And that's, I think, what my role is, amongst many others, many others, is to explain things to working class people, good old normal people, not scientists that's going to blow it out anyway and have a reason why it's not possible, because they're still working in today's science, not tomorrow's science. What they do very, very basically is they use a frequency that changes the frequency of the craft to match the frequency of the atmosphere in front of the craft. So it's almost like it's not there. So it's kind of like it produces, it's not a vacuum, but because the material, the frequency is the same as the atmosphere in front of it, it acts like a kind of vacuum. So any thought, conscious thought, because conscious thought can change the things in the quantum or the ether, whatever you want to call it, and therefore change things in the places we can't see. So therefore can change the things in the places we can see, if that makes any sense. So when they think, there's nothing to stop it then moving. So they just think, I want to be there, and it goes there because there's no friction, there's nothing stopping it. So that's a very, very basic answer that I got for my
It makes sense though. On how I travel, that makes perfect sense. They're just continuously doing it. Yeah.
Everything is frequency, and that's what they use for everything. Their bases can withstand thousands of tons of pressure of sea, but allow a UFO to go into their base with no door. They just change the frequency. So the UFO can slip in and out of their bases down at the bottom of the sea without any doors, anything like that, just in and out. They can do the things that they can do with frequency is just absolutely incredible, including time travel. They can just move at any speed they wish. So that's what I got from the second one.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But it honestly, that makes it just clicked for me when you said that. I'm like, if you're in that realm, yes, that makes perfect sense.
Well, the thing is, Coley, is that I haven't sort of got these messages and thought, oh yeah, I'm special. Oh, these are messages. I've had 40 years of messages that make absolute working class, proper commons, what you call in America, horse sense, I believe, but we call it common sense. They just make common sense, and they just go, oh, and when you tell it to people, they just go, oh yeah. And a lot of people go, oh, I think I knew that already. I think I knew that. But yeah, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I believe it. But also, these messages that come through, I've had messages that have come through that have saved my life. I've had messages that saved my son's life. And my family have witnessed this. I had messages what my wife looked like when I was in my teens, but I only met her when I was 33. You know, I could go on and on and on. You know, I had a situation before I go on to the third thing that happened, which would be good for people to hear. I had a situation, and I'm saying this so you understand why I believe these messages.
Sure.
Not only because they make complete sense, but I had a situation when I was 36. I had a dream, because a lot of these messages come in dreams, of me dying at 56. I was 36, and and it was more real than real. It wasn't a normal dream. It was, you know, like some people when they're on ayahuasca say that it was more real than real. That's what this dream was. I was overweight, sweating, really ill, awful dream, and I was definitely dying. And the numbers 5, 6 came up, kept on coming up, 5, 6, 5, 6. So being a typical bloke, I told my wife, and she kept it registered. She's very feet on the ground, but she knows that I get these things. So she probably took it on board more than I did at the time. And then about 5 or 6 years later, I stopped smoking because I kept thinking about it. But it took me 5 or 6, 7 years, maybe even longer than that, before I stopped smoking because I'm an idiot. And then only about 2 years before I'm 56, I stopped drinking because also I'm an idiot and I like drinking. But it was just enough. And also, I got lots of messages about what to take before I was 56, herbal wise, go to the sauna more, exercise more. And it turned out I was very, very ill at 56.
Oh, wow.
But I caught it early because of the dream, and it was cancer. And because of doing all these protocols I've been told to do, and because I was warned years before, I didn't need any chemo. And the doctors at the hospital were just like
That's amazing.
scratching their head. How the hell? I didn't need any chemo. I didn't need any chemo. It's 4 or 5 years ago now. Didn't need any chemo. So, excuse me for believing these messages. Yes. But if you'd been through what I've seen, and I could go on for hours about things that have proven it to me, let alone the common sense of the answers, well, anyway, that's why I believe in them.
Oh, absolutely. And what you said before is there's millions of people. I understand that nobody wants to feel special, but John, you were given a great gift that it surpasses, and I think you really have. And people here they're kind of used to, like everybody's got their thing, and I'm glad that was your thing, and you don't ever have to explain that here. You really don't. I think that's absolutely beautiful.
I appreciate that, but I do feel I'm obliged to tell people that because it's important that they see the belief I have in it and why I've got a belief in it. I'm not just going, oh, I'm special, because I'm not. Because the amount of people I've been told are getting these messages that because of different reasons, maybe they naturally pick them up, or they've had an accident, or they've been, or whatever, bump on the head or whatever. I'm getting contacted through X, especially, but people trying to get through the publisher to me and stuff. Of lots and lots and lots and lots of people. Brad, shout out to Brad, firefighter in California. He said, "I'm so glad that I read your book, and I found out about this through I think it was the News Nation podcast that I did." Because he didn't know whether it was just nonsense or it was just a bit mad, but he realized by hearing my message that his was so similar that he's not crazy, that it's true. An old lady in Scotland yesterday contacted me, getting the same messages, so 78-year-old,
How
so
cool.
happy after reading the book, and that it's not all nonsense, So, yeah. So if special means the only person that's getting it, then I'm absolutely not special, because there are thousands and thousands. And the closer we get to 2027, the closer we get to 2037, which I need to talk to you about, there are more and more and more people awakening to it and getting messages from it.
You laid the groundwork, John. You made that safe and possible for them to come out and confirm it, and that gets your mission out to other people.
They'll start having the courage to say to the family, whatever. Don't have to write a book, but just have the courage to say to their family, this is real, what I'm getting,
Yes.
That's the important thing, to get the message out, because it's about the only way we're going to turn this around is by mass consciousness. It's the only way. Mass consciousness is so powerful. It's like manifestation in mass is the only way it's going to get turned around.
I'm working on that. That's why I called my chat the ground crew. I'm the transmitter, and we get it out to the people, and the people are the ones
Your job
that
is
carry. Yes.
Hugely important. And little successes like that are getting out international it is fantastic, because the more you get it out, the more you're helping. So
I was given
helping
this
everybody
task. This
out.
was my mission, John, and
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
do it and do it right, I think this time.
It
You know,
does
that's
sound
how I
corny when
feel.
you say a calling, doesn't it? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
It does sound corny when you say a calling, but it's an old word, old English word, but it's spot on, like so many English words. It's just the people that thought these words up, they knew something, because calling is so accurate, isn't it?
It is. It is. And when you said it, because I've always said my mission, and I said that sounds a little corny too, but your
Yeah,
calling, that really grasped it.
yeah,
I was glad you said that
isn't
because
it?
that fits it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true. So the third thing, shall I tell you about the third one? Because it's no less than the second or the first. Um, I just have to explain that I'd got to a stage when I was 18. I was still in the Navy, and I'd really actually got quite upset with life and angry with life, because it wasn't because I wasn't hacking the Navy. I was physically and mentally, I was very capable of hacking anything. It's just that it wasn't. I felt like a caged lion, or it was an old. I explained it on one pass. It was spot on, actually. I went to London Zoo once and saw a polar bear, and he was rocking his head side to side, just out of his mind. He just wanted to be free, right? And that's exactly what I felt like in the Navy. I'm really into freedom. Freedom is so important.
Oh, me
And when
too.
I
Oh, yes.
no, when I couldn't just walk off the ship and go for a walk in the trees.
Oh, no.
Couldn't do that when I wanted. You could be at sea for months, and it's like it was. You might as well have stuck me in prison, Collie, because there's that. I
I
felt
know
like
this.
I'd been. I didn't know. You see, I didn't know what my forefathers had put up with. What it was like for them on sail ships. I don't know, galleons and everything, but flipping heck, I just it wasn't for me. Put it that way. I turned. I don't want to make this sound corny, but the only way I can explain it was I was getting so aggressive and so angry
Yeah.
that I was really turning to the dark side, to be corny about it. Um, you know, I was getting
You
into
learn.
fights.
You're a
Wasn't being me at
disruptor,
all.
John.
I yeah, I was. Well, it's important to tell you this because it's the reason why I got the visit, I think.
Yeah, I am too.
Um,
Your personality and mine are a lot alike. You would not even
I
believe
was
some of the stuff. Oh, yeah.
really, I was going to go AWOL this night. I was standing on the platform, going back to the base, train for a night train, and I was standing there and I was working out how I could go AWOL, which means absent without leave. It's a criminal thing to do. You leave and you
Oh,
go
God.
into crime, right? And I was getting into fights. I was doing all sorts of things that were not good. Um, and I was standing on the platform, uh, and I was thinking to myself, I'm not getting on the train. I'm not getting on the train. I'm going to go. And then something said to me, get on the train. Think about it. Just get on the train. So I did. Listen to it, and I got on the train. So this is a night train going back to the base, and I go in. It's an old carriage, 1980s, but probably made in the 60s, because it's an old, stuffy old carriage with seats that similar to what you have in the States, two sides, and seats that settee seats that face each other, and then another lot,
Yes.
and another lot. Empty
Oh, the
carriage,
train. I know about the train. Yes. Do you know how many times
and
people
I
talk
get
about the
on,
train?
and I get on, and I sit down on the right hand side at the back, the first section on the right hand side in the corner. Stuck myself away because I don't want company. I'm just not. I'm not in the right frame of mind for company at all. So I'm thinking about myself, but other people as well, right? Um, so I'm in the corner, and as we were about to go, some squaddy, we're called squaddies, the lads that are in the army, 4 lads, nice lads, came on, and they saw me. I clearly looked Navy. I must have had me kit bag or something there, but so they came and sat on the seats right next to me, and I just lost it. I didn't want this to happen. I wanted them to go away, so I got really aggressive with them. Terrible behaviour, and so they just got all the stuff and went right down to the bottom carriage on the left and sat right down the bottom away from it. Didn't fine, just went off. So we having a bad time, so they just left me. So I'm not proud of that, by the way, but it's what happened. So I'm telling you what happened. I'm just trying to explain that.
This is a part of life.
And,
This is a part of life,
yeah,
of course.
a place I was in. So anyway, the train got going. Now there's a few station stops on the way to the base, and obviously I was hoping that it didn't stop at these stations. I just wanted to get going quick and get back to the base and sort myself out. And it starts to slow down after about 40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes. Starts slowing down into this station at night with the mist, like it is in England, very deep mist. There's nobody on. I looked both sides. There's nobody on the platform at all. Nobody. And I remember thinking to myself, why is the train stopping for nobody? It's just, everything bothered me. Everything bothered me. I was angry about that. Right. So anyway, it slowed down and stopped, and then it got going again. And I was just thinking, oh, good, nobody got on. That's great. Nobody else to shout at. And then the sliding door opened, like a push sliding door, wooden thing. And this might be hard to believe for some people, but it absolutely happened. A guy walked past me about 6, I don't know, 6'2", maybe 6'2", 6'3", something like that, in a dark brown monk's habit with his hood up. And he walked on down the carriage, and he was looking. Bear in mind, I'm here, right in the back, kind of here, and he's looking. His hood's turning like that, each way, and he's looking in each section for somebody. And he's looking all the way down. He's walking all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, and he gets to the bottom. Strange thing. It's not something you see even in England, believe me, every day. And the army lads didn't look up at him. Didn't look up. Didn't even carried on playing cards or something, right? Which I remember thinking, strange. And then he stopped at the end, and I just thought, I won't say what I said. I'll abbreviate it. I thought to myself, keep going, you effing weirdo.
Right. Right.
Just keep fucking going, effing weirdo, like that. So along those lines, paraphrasing, but along those lines. And the moment I said that, his head turned round and smiled and went, ah, and started walking back towards me. That was chilling, even for me in my state that I was in. That was chilling. And he came back and he said to me, "Do you mind if I sit here?" Every part of my fibre wanted to say no, F off.
No, yes.
I was still full of, and hate and fear, and all I could say was, no, that's fine. Completely wimped.
So it took something like that to get there.
No, the moment he was walking up to me and smiling, I could feel bricks falling off. I could feel armor falling off. I could feel things just flying off before he even sat down. And then he sat down. I remember he pulled his hood back, sat down, and he didn't look like a typical monk. When we think of monks, we think about Friar Tuck, that guy with the funny little bald head. But he wasn't like that at all. It was like maybe in his 60s, And I remember thinking, you look more like a sort of a knight or something like that. He's very chiseled and, piercing eyes. And I don't mean piercing as just superficially piercing. I mean, they're pierced. They really pierced into you. And incredible. The
Like he was
aura that
seeing
was
your
coming off it.
soul.
Yeah. Yeah. The aura that was coming off him, Coley. Um, I don't want to go sort of religious or biblical on this, but I wouldn't say it was like if Jesus walked in the room, not quite that powerful, but maybe the next tier down, he was
Mhm.
just unbelievable. Yeah,
Wow.
awesome gets used for all sorts of silly things these days.
So you could see his
But
aura.
this guy was awesome. Couldn't see an aura. I felt it.
Oh, you
I didn't
felt it?
see any
Okay.
aura. No, I felt this courage again, like I felt at the light when I saw the light, and also the little guys, like courage, the opposite of fear, the
Yes.
base of love, the very base that love comes from. People think when that spark that started in the darkness, they think it was love. It was not. It was courage.
Mm.
The first emotion was courage, and love comes from courage.
Agree.
Which is one of the big things I've learned in my life. That's what the first thing that comes, because without courage, you don't have anything, nothing. Courage, you can't have love, you can't appreciate life, you can't have
Mhm.
anything. So that's basically what he was filling me with, because all I had was all this macho stuff was fear. And he started filling me with what I needed, which was courage. So anyway, he's sitting there and I'm still trying to fight it. And he says, uh, we have a connection. And I just said, oh, do we? Like that, sort of like a kid, trying to, like with a parent, And he said, we do. What's your first name? I told him. He said, no, it's not that. And he said, what's your surname? And I told him. I wasn't telling him to go away or anything. I was slowly getting broken, you know. I knew what he was, I just realized what he was doing. And I realized then by his smile that he actually knew what he was going to. He knew my name. He knew what it before. So I said, I've got a middle name that was like a Catholic sort of name that I chose because I like animals. He said, it's that one. I said, it's Francis. He went, I am from the St. Francis of Assisi Abbey. He told me where. There wasn't Abbey, it was a monastery or something. I don't. It was St. Francis of Assisi's community down south of England. I don't remember where he said. I'd love to remember where he said, but I don't. And so that's the connection. I'm a St. Franciscan monk from the Anglican Church. Now, what's funny was when he said that, he smiled again. And in the smile, I knew that he was an Anglican monk, but he wasn't really. And he was being honest with me, but not saying that. And what that did immediately, it moved away from a nutter in a monk's uniform talking to me to someone that it was like a bond. It's like he'd shared a secret with me that I'm not really, I am, but I'm not really. Smile. Strange. They sort of inputted that, and I picked that up. Even in all the mess I was in, I picked that up. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I've got it, sort of thing. So it carried on. Then I was starting to listen to him rather than thinking, "Who's this nut?" He then started talking about good and evil, that there'd be a war later in my life, that good would prevail, which was nice to hear. And that I had something to do later in my life, which I later learned was to get the message out, write the book and get the message out. So I was only 18 when he told me this. He then carried on talking about the religions getting together because they all preach to the same God, but they need to come together, and he was his mission was to do that. He was going up to see somebody in Dundee that he needed to speak to, which I felt was like somebody like myself. I later learned that was the case, that it was somebody else that needed to get the message out. So he's going around seeing people like this. I then started to feel very strange. I started to feel like I was a bit drugged. Now, bear in mind, he hadn't passed me any drinks. There's none of that going on. I was drinking a Coke, I think, at the time, but so there's no drugs going on or anything. But I felt really, really drugged, and I was going all woozy. And in the end, I remember just seeing his mouth moving. Now, the time that this period must have been about an hour. I've worked out later, because I knew what station he came in at. I know how long it took him to talk to me, and I know how long it takes then till I get to the base. So it's at least an hour of this strange place that I was in, of him moving his mouth and me just not really being compos mentis, if you know what I mean. There's at least an hour of that. And then I kind of came around to us coming up to the station that's near the base. And I remember saying to him that this is my stop, and he already knew that, of course. It's yes, and we stood up. He stood up to shake my hand, and this is when it got really surreal, or very real, if you want. He put his hand out, and I remember as I was putting my hand out towards him, feeling absolutely gutted that I was going to have to leave him. It was, if you can imagine one of your children saying, I'm going to live in Australia. Yeah. Love Australia, but it's a long way. You know, how many times
So
am I
you
going to
felt
see you?
so, yeah, that's amazing.
It was awful. It was made me feel sick, physically sick, that I was going to split from this guy that I just met, that I thought was I wanted to F off, an hour and a half ago, or whatever it was. And then he shook my hand, Coley, and it was like a bolt went up my arm, like it was almost like electricity and warm water went shooting up my arm.
Yeah.
And then I felt like what was happening to me was something was rushing at me, like everything I thought was real wasn't real, and this place I was being put in for a minute was realer than, it's really hard to explain
anything
this,
you'd probably ever
realer,
seen before. Yes.
yeah, to everything real times by 10 or 20, you know, like everything else isn't really real and this is real. And then rushes of information, rush and stuff, all sorts of things rushing into me. And I was
He unblocked you, or he was there to activate you.
Yeah, well, I opened it up. It opened up what had already been opened up a little bit, and then a little bit more by the contact and obviously the NDE, and then just open up even more. Like, let's get it open, boys. Open it. And that's what was based. I believe that's what I told. And well, it became apparent because the messages I started getting after that were just flooding in after that. So then obviously it was still in shock. It wasn't a painful electricity, by the way. It was just
no, I've had it too.
Right. So it's not a pain.
It healed me medically.
It wasn't being nasty or anything. It was nice, but it was just, incredible. I know all this sounds like a mixture of Star Wars and Highlander. I'm sorry.
No, I've experienced it. I had the first when I came back, the first experience. Yeah. I felt like I was electrocuted.
So what can I do? Yeah, right. So I got off the train and I got into the taxi. Taxi driver asked me where I wanted to go, and I told him and burst into tears. He must have thought, "Blimey heck, I'm fed up with these drunk sailors all the bloody time." So, and then I got back on board, and this supposed hard case, the only friend I had was a rugby player, was also a bit of a hard case. He said, "You're all right, a good weekend." Welshman, great guy. And I just burst into tears. And he put his arm around me. I sat there like that for about an hour crying. And he just sat there with me. It was mental. But anyway,
That opened
that's what I,
opened up that got past or cracked that emotional shell or that shell
yeah,
you
and it
had. That's
also,
amazing.
all that angst, all that fear and all that anger and everything I didn't explain was just falling away. It was like melting away as he was talking to me all the way through. And by the time I got to the station, he shook my hand. I was ready for that because it was changed back, from
Wow.
bad side to good side, I guess. But
Yes, yes.
from being full of fear, because that's the only reason people get aggressive with people. It's the only reason people bullies. It's because they're in fear. So I was
Yes.
filled back up with courage and then love and then hope and faith and just completely different person
How
as I
that had
walked
to
off
have
the
just
train
like
to get on the plane.
yes. Oh wow, that had to have been so overwhelming. I can't even imagine
It was,
processing all that
it was,
flooding through. Like the floodgates were open. It's
yeah.
amazing.
It's difficult to put into words into these things, but you can only try your best to explain it.
I think that's a pretty good explanation of it. When you start and people on it is I call it when you come in contact with this, I said it's an experience. It's an experience because it's not just something you're experiencing, out physically. It is affecting every single sensory you have. It comes over you.
I
That's the only
felt
way
very, very. I felt very. I always felt privileged from these three things. Lots of other things which I go into in the book have helped. Of course, they have big things, but these three major things, I feel very privileged. I mean, I didn't feel privileged. Well, I shouldn't feel privileged from getting such a bad head injury that nearly killed me. Um, but I do. And I feel really privileged that I was on board that ship, although I hated the job. It wasn't for me. I feel privileged that I was there. And I felt privileged that one minute I felt like that. And then I meet this being, because he surely wasn't normal. And then he helped me because it wasn't a nice place. I didn't like being there. I didn't like being angry with people, you know.
No,
So
but
I was really
anger is necessary
grateful,
for
really
change.
grateful. Right.
Y
Yeah.
it was
I just
all a
felt
course
grateful.
of events. Yeah, that's one ties into the other. It's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe those things have opened up this strong ability to, because what I've learned is, what I've been told is that the mind, and people say the mind when they mean the brain, or the brain when they
Mhm.
mean the mind, and I've been told that the mind is an immortal thing that is not physical, and the brain is an organ,
Yes.
and the mind is the same. It's a different word for the conscious, is a different word for the soul, it's just a different word for the spirit. And what it's enabled me to do is for my mind, which is the real us, the soul, which is the real us, same thing, is then able to contact the greater conscious, which I call it, and therefore send information to my physical brain. And that's what I believe is happening. And then my very limited physical brain then filters it into something simple for people to understand. So Yeah. So that's what I believe.
You have a
happened.
great task on your hands because I get so you're literally taking this and you're interpreting it to people who don't have this. When you don't experience something and you read about it, it's completely different than when you have that experience. So I give
Yes.
you, I see what you're doing. You're taking this and you're breaking this down for people so they can understand and that can activate them. That's beautiful. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because I've learned to feel for the people that are trying to understand it all. You know,
Where does that
um,
come from,
it's just
John? Where does that like, is it that part of you that didn't understand and, you felt like maybe it was keeping you from things? Why do you think that you have that? I'm
I don't know.
curious.
It's a really good question. I think it's partly because it was such a horrible place that I was in, and him
Mhm.
dragging me out of it, and all the knowledge I have now has just explained everything, and I just don't want the thought of people being there because it's a
Yeah.
horrible place, but also confusion in this crazy. I was asked one of the podcasts because my book is told and it's got a subtitle. It says Messages from a Greater Conscious or The Ramblings of a Madman. Because I put that because it's really important that I always keep that little doubt that I'm just a madman. Because it's anybody that 100% believes in everything, I don't think that's right. And I don't think it's good and healthy, right?
Mm-mm.
And I was asked, "Are you a madman?" And I just think I'd like to have said to the interviewer, I wish I'd been prepared for it because I'd like to have said, in this crazy world, if you're not a little bit mad, you'd have to be insane, right?
Isn't that
Because it is
so
a
true?
crazy,
Yes.
all truth. What I've learned that I put in the book, most of the truth I was told as a kid is a lie.
Lie.
And most of the lies are the
The
truth,
truth.
right? It's upside down. So,
Yeah, I say this all the time. We're in
so
the upside down world. Exactly. Yes. It's so
it's
true.
all not, it's all upside. It's virtually upside down, a bit like the food pyramid.
I
It's all
know.
upside down. It's mad.
It
So
is.
if you're not a little potty in that insane world, then you are a little bit insane. That's why I worry about normal people.
Absolutely.
I love them, but So
Oh
yeah, I am,
boy.
Nick. Yeah, I am a little bit. Yes, thankfully.
I call it what it is. I said you got to be a little. Everybody has to be a little mad to understand it. It's a spectrum. We're not you, but you're maintaining a balance, and that's where
Yes,
we have to really maintain that equilibrium.
yes. God
You
forbid
have
to be
to.
normal because
How do
and
you
I wouldn't be able to see
understand?
through.
You don't understand how much you love something until you understand how much you dislike something. You don't understand
Yeah,
how much
yeah,
you're happy until you understand what your sadness feels like. It's a pendulum.
yes,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Wow.
So I'm basically I've had 40 years of all the questions that I could possibly think of that I was being told the by schools and TV and stuff that I
Yeah.
thought was mm, that I'd ask a question about. I've been answered, and mostly answers that nobody had an answer for. Nobody had an answer for that I've been given answers for um, from from afterlife to about the UFOs, the bases, AI,
Yes.
how the who produced the pyramids, how the pyramids were made, the polygonal, amazing polygonal stones that all different shapes, how they fit together so finely. That's been explained to me, all in real working
Yeah.
class, basic, simple answers.
They
It's
showed me
just
how
great.
how they recreate memory, how the slinky it was very basic. The volutes, which we call UFOs, how they're simply one it's very simplified, but It made sense. I've been shown things too. That's amazing.
It's linked up. I was drawn very strongly towards. We have things in Europe which American people don't think they have, but they do. We have stone circles here, which
Oh
are
yeah,
very,
the
very
guide
special,
stones.
very, very special. And people drive past them every day and just like, oh, amazing. But we've got one here called Avebury. People keep going on about Stonehenge. It's,
I've been to them here
imagine
before. Yeah, we have them.
well, if you imagine Avebury and Stonehenge is like an AA battery compared to a car battery. Avebury is 120 stones, 60 ton each, the biggest stone circle in the world. It dwarfs Stonehenge. It's on the same ley lines,
Yes.
well, virtually the same ley lines. But it's absolutely incredible. And what I've been told is there were stone circles all over the world, and they were linked up to. And people don't realize this, but they were linked up to the pyramids, and they don't realize that. They don't realize there were monoliths in Egypt and in South America that were linked up to these pyramids, and it's all part of a much bigger picture. And what I've also been told, just to give you some idea of the crazy things I've been told, that there are many, 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 many planets out there that have also got the stone circle pyramid systems on them. And at certain times they link up with each other, depending on the turn of the planets.
Oh, that's
The
interesting.
pyramids link up
Oh,
with
so
other pyramids.
they're oh boy, that's
Imagine a big
interesting.
clock. Imagine a big clock, Collie, and with
Mhm.
the little cogs inside, right? And each planet has got a little cog, and as it turns, it links up to another little cog, and then another little cog,
Mm.
and it makes it all right. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah, this makes
basically
sense. So go,
the
yes.
problem is 12,000 years ago, the majority of our stone circle system was destroyed. Completely, the cataclysm completely destroyed. So you've got burnt pyramids, you've got broken down pyramids, you've got terribly broken. You look into the burnt pyramids, sides of pyramids that are burnt. Look into it. The stones knocked down. There were many, many, many more stone circles around the world.
We just had the
There's
Georgia
famous.
Guidestones go out. I wonder if that's something along the lines of what you're
Well, I'll
saying.
tell you about America, because America think they don't have something like that, and it's not
Oh, we
true.
do.
America did it different because they were different people a long, long time ago, tall people, and they produce mounds on what the stones are. The stones aren't particularly, they are special, but they're not. They don't produce they sit on ley lines, and they sit on
Mhm.
positive energy. What I call my term for it is positive energy points, where the ley lines cross, and they're markers, and they draw the energy up into the crystals. So because the ley line is part electromagnetic, part consciousness, which is very important, and part there's plasma involved as well, and it's the same energy that's in the ether, same energy that Tesla was trying to find, that he knew existed. That's why they shut him up, because it's free
Yes.
energy, right? But there's more to it. There's far more to it. I think Tesla was probably getting an idea at the end that there's a consciousness link to it, that it was more than just an electrical supply. There's a lot more to it than for energies, which is in the ether, or what scientists call the quantum. I call it the ether, same thing.
Right.
But basically, let me just go back. In America, you have mounds that depict positive energy points. I've not been to one.
I know we
I
do.
should have
No,
gone to
we have them around
one.
here.
Right. Well, listen, if people want to have the most chance of something wonderful happening, maybe a UFO experience or something else,
Yes.
plasma,
Yes.
whatever, go to
Native
a positive
American
energy
burial
point, right?
grounds.
Because
Yes.
that's, well, I don't know if you'd be allowed to do that or not, but
We can hear.
the
They're on
certain
mounds, as you
right.
talked about, which
Well,
is interesting.
don't, don't forget that you know a lot of these things were done before they were
Yeah.
burial grounds. They were seen by people like our indigenous British people as being a special place. So then they'd carve things into the stone. The stones weren't made with the
Hmm.
Celtic circles in them, and they would sacrifice on them and stuff because they saw them as special places. Yeah, but they were much, 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 much older than the history books try and make out. These stones were much
Oh,
older.
yes. And it's crazy because I've been to a few places around here, and it stems from the first craft I came in contact with was near the mounds, the in Native American burial grounds on the
Yeah,
ley
you'll find that.
lines.
Well, you'll find that because they
Yes.
obviously the advanced beings work from these systems, and there are planets out there that still have full planetary live systems working. We've only got broken systems working. I mean, there's one I know of, which I'm not going to name because there's a little village next door that will be flooded and a nice little pub. But there's one up north of England that's still a live circle. And I know it's a live circle because I've had experiences there. And Avebury is so big, although it's broken, it's so big it still produces. It still has. I've had experience at Avebury as well because it's so big, it can afford to be a bit broken, some stones down, you know. Um, but yeah, it's quite incredible. But what's good about the simple mound is that it's a showing of a special place, a cross of ley lines, and you'll find that if people are interested in UFOs, there's a lot more to it than just UFOs. But you'll find that UFOs have a link to the ley lines because they use the ley lines in travel. They use the ley lines for energy. The bases are sat on the positive energy points. Um, uh, UFOs sit on positive energy points. That's one of the things they do. It's one of the reasons why um, they're in certain areas. It's why a lot of sightings are seen in old historical places or near old historical places like yours, because they're linked up to what Tesla was trying to find.
That's
So
wow.
if people want to
It makes
in
so much
America,
sense. Yes.
well, listen, we're talking to the world, right? Especially with your new system.
Yes.
So French people out there, you've got some massive stone circles, amazing stone circles, with long rows of monoliths, huge. Turkey, everywhere I go, I've seen some in, I think it was in Menorca. I've seen wherever you go, there's remnants of old, and obviously the pyramids, and obviously South Americans with their pyramids. They're all the same. They're all on the same system. They're all on the same positive energy ley line system. All of them. They're just different
Wow.
interpretations of how to do it. We have Mount. We have, including if you look at, if somebody wants to look at it, Stonehenge in particular has mounds around it because we used to use mounds instead of pyramids. So have big mounds instead of pyramids because and there would be granite in there and also because it's a store, but it's a showing of an energy, a positive energy position, a point. So you do have them in America, and you should go to them if you want. And it works better if it's out of sight and out of daylight. It works better when it's at dusk. When
It
it's
does.
it just does, the energy just works. I used to go around certain circles before I learned when I was younger. I did a lot of what was called lay hunting, trying to find new stones and link them up. And I used to go during the day, and I used to touch the stones quite a lot. And one time, my friends found me asleep in a pub after I'd done this because it had drawn so much from me during the day, they couldn't wake me up. I was asleep for about 2 hours. I just couldn't wake up. So it's best not go in there all the time touching them or during the day, because it seems like they draw during the day and they give out later on at night. So it's an important thing that you don't want to fall asleep. And I'd imagine, I don't know, but I'd imagine that your mounds in America would be the same.
They're probably
So
pulling the energy, yeah, and then release. That makes sense.
yeah, I think something
That
like
makes
it's
sense.
breathing, it's breathing. So
You know what, John, really made sense is like how I'm telling you, I've been working on getting this onto but this is perfect for you that you're addressing, because I did not, it took me months and months and months to open it up. And when you said, you are talking to, you can now send this out, your message out and the information you need out at a level people, in 180 countries are able to hear. This is awesome.
yeah,
I
I
feel
mean,
like it happened right in the perfect time.
there's not a country. There's not a country out
No,
there, I
it's
don't think,
not.
that don't
I
have
agree.
a special place. I bet Australia's got them as well. I
Oh,
bet so.
yes.
All the
That's
countries
what
have
I
got.
mean. You're giving this
Yeah,
information and you can, disseminate it to everybody has the
yeah.
opportunity
And if
to
you look at
understand
it,
this.
the amount of if you just go back to UFOs for a minute, let alone anything else that's a phenomena as they call it. If you look at how many UFOs have been sighted around near or over stone circles, you wouldn't believe that the record and pyramids and if you looked at it now, you can connect your mounds to ley lines. You might want to go back and look at how many. I mean, yours, so you must have thought
Mhm.
about it. You know that your UFO is near a sacred site of some sort
Yes.
because you knew that, right? So that
Mhm.
there's a connection.
I
So if people
yes.
want to
I
experience
put it
things,
together. It was a journey to
yeah.
get from point A to point B, but I did, and I figured out that I looked at the ley lines, and then I was even a fault line. Like, I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." Yeah, but it is.
This is
It's
why
that's
I
exactly what
mean, I
happened.
either get a lot of love for the book or a lot of hate from the book. And I get people, scientists say there's no such thing as ley lines. You're talking a load of rubbish, so okay.
Oh, there most definitely
Uh,
is.
Tell that
Yes.
to Tesla, but
Don't you think some of
anyway.
that there is to derail? I feel like we kind of get assigned somebody, or it's like people. If I'm like, if this isn't for you, I always tell people I'm not for everybody. If you come and chat and that you're
Yeah,
starting problems, I'm like, I'm
exactly.
not for everybody. You just probably need to go find another place or another
Yeah.
book, because I'm just
No, I
not
mean,
for you.
there's so many. I won't mention the name, but there's so many scientists starting to realize they maybe didn't know everything. Won't mention
Yeah.
any names, but you know what I'm talking about. But
Hmm.
that's starting to happen. Um, I think the big turnaround was for people opening their eyes. Well, I know it was because I've been told. Um, was it actually started in September 2019, but didn't really start getting into gear until sort of March, April 2020. Now, people think the word apocalypse means the end of the world, but it doesn't. That's Armageddon. Apocalypse means the lifting of a veil, right?
Hmm.
That's what it means. Lifting of a veil, lifting of a lie, lifting of a veil, lifting of a sheet in front of you, or mistruths, right? Now, I believe, and I'm also told that COVID was during COVID, people started to realize with all the lockdowns and all the craziness that was going on. Sorry to
Oh
go
yeah.
off topic, but this is important.
No,
All
I'm
the
passionate
craziness
about
going
this.
on, people's eyes started opening. Regular people's eyes started opening.
Yes.
I'm told that COVID started. I'm not going to go into whether it's released or not released, or it got out on its own or whatever. I'm going to go into that.
I got it. I knew it
Um,
was coming before it was coming, so I've covered all this. My audience is I go on. I'm
have you?
very
Right, okay,
passionate
that's
about it
cool. I
too.
didn't know
Yeah,
that.
good. Yeah, you're
I'll just
good.
say
You're
it.
good.
I'll just say it. It,
No,
it,
you're
it, it
good.
happened. It happened in September. I'll go a bit further, but not maybe publicly. But anyway, I've got to be careful. I'm gonna, everybody knows why I've got to be careful with this. It started in September 2019,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
But we didn't really start because all the powers that be didn't really start reacting to it. So our eyes weren't starting to open until March, April
Yes.
2020. By March, April 2021, a lot of people's eyes were getting really opened to, oh, are we living in a black mirror? Is this, oh,
Hmm.
our lives aren't really what we thought they were? Oh, that's it,
No.
people's eyes. Now, I believe, and I've been told, and I know it's strange, and I know it sounds like hyperbole, but I believe COVID was apocalyptic. It was opening, lifting of the veil of people's awareness. I think they don't realize how important it was. I think it was probably the most important for good that people would that realize. I don't think they realize how important it was, how terrible it was, but how important it was to us opening our eyes. And
I
just
agree.
to go back a little bit, just to add to your messages of being told about it, in March 2020, I asked. Now, this is before, March 2020, when they were still saying it was from Pangolin or whatever, and there was no other
Hmm.
information coming out. There was no knowledge at all about the lab or anything, right? This is March, certainly not on the BBC anywhere. There's no information whatsoever about that. So bear that in mind when I tell you that I asked what it was, and it told me it was a weapon. Now, it did that by basic working class, again, non-academic means for me, simple stuff like kid-like stuff. It sent me a bow and arrow, then a gun, then a knife, and it just kept on sending me weapons. So I went, oh, no, it's a weapon.
Yes.
And then so what happens is when I get a yes, I either get a tingle that's a little bit like what the monk did for my hand, but very much lighter. I get a tingle through my body, or I get a pulling forward. A no is a pushing back, like I'm weakening, and a strengthening is a yes. So I can't remember actually. Did I get a tingle or a pulling forward? I got a yes anyway, that it's a weapon, right? But
Oh yeah.
at that time, I didn't put the two together. Oh, wait a minute, it's biological, and So anyway, and of course, I didn't say anything to anybody about that because being told that a germ was a weapon at the time. Sometimes I get messages. I know it's true. I know it's real, but it just sounds so crazy. I don't even bother thinking about it again
I was
because it's like,
calling
well, that's crazy.
businesses and trying to tell them. I told my family if they didn't listen to me, I was going to take the megaphone down in the corner on my soapbox, and I was going to yell it so the whole neighborhood could hear it if they didn't listen to me. Nobody was listening. It was so crazy.
Well,
Yes, but I get
honestly,
that.
Colleen,
Oh gosh.
the people think that it's just something out of the Bible, the apocalypse, but all apocalypse means is lifting of the veil, lifting of a veil that's been put in front of us. And if anything has ever been apocalyptic, we're lifting a veil where millions and millions of people won't go into the rest of it that I can't talk about, that
Hmm.
proved it to people that there is something else going on, that what they thought was the world isn't the world. If anything
No,
has
it's
ever done that and woken people up, it was that. So
I believe that I agree with. I agree with
yeah,
1000%.
yeah,
And it was at one point I was trying to save the system that was there, and then I realized that system needed to come down. And it can come
yeah.
down and we can build it up the way that we need it to be.
So you wouldn't have thought that, and you wouldn't have realized that if it hadn't have been for COVID.
Absolutely.
So it just shows you I mean, but just everyday people that don't even think, people that would say our conversation is woo woo, even they just felt like they were in a movie, or just an unbelievable sort of, like I say,
Twilight
like
Zone.
a Twilight Zone, like they're in a Twilight Zone, like, you know, um, which really opened up. I don't think I can't imagine well, there are people, of course, there are people that just go along believing it all, but it's opened up so many eyes, hasn't it? Opened up so
Yes, it
many
has.
eyes for people.
And it
Yeah,
really,
so
it's like I didn't understand it because I was like, we got to rip the Band-Aid off. But people need, we're there. I'm always ahead of the schedule, and I have to remember that, this opens a door and that everybody has been through or gone through and understands to the extent of which you or I may.
yes,
That's a
I
very
think
good, very
probably
valid point.
because you mentioned when you were showing that the program was coming out, you mentioned for people that we were going to talk about 2027. Um, so I think it would be right to do that, because I suppose some people might have clicked on wondering what we're going to be talking about 2027.
Sure.
So I wrote that down just to make sure that we did talk about that, because it would be horrible if they clicked on for 2027 and we never spoke about it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh,
This is so great. Like, this information is absolutely, it's just wonderful. And like I said, I think we could do a part 2 if you're up for it, because we're
yes,
just,
yeah.
it's like, I'm really enjoying this, John. Really enjoying
It'd
it.
be nice as well. Because the thing I need to say is as well is that when I was writing, some of the book is just what I put into it, but most of the book, I'd say 2/3 of the book. Have you heard rock stars? Like, I don't know, I won't mention rock band, but good old 70s or 80s rock band, and they've said, I didn't really. I'm not sure where this came from. It just came through me.
Yes.
I just wrote it down, and it's like, and they're always the best. They're always the
I
best
agree.
songs, right? Always the best. Um, well, I was a lot of the book. I was right as I was writing. I'd start off with something in my head, and I'd start writing, and then I'd start or type it on the iPad or whatever. I'd start putting things on the book that were coming through me, and honestly, there's much of the book I was reading it as I was typing it, right? And at
Yeah.
times I'd even go, "Wow," because I was reading it. Do you understand what I mean? I was reading it as I was
Yes,
writing
I
it, and it's
do.
like,
Oh, yes,
what?
I do.
Honestly, so there's an awful lot of the book is like that, and all I'd be doing in podcasts is trying to paraphrase what's in the book. So at the end of the day, the book's always the best because it's come direct, and it was like me singing a rock song instead of listening to the band,
I've
but I
got
do my
your
best.
link on from
I do my
Amazon
best.
up. I'll pin that in the chat.
Right.
I'll jump over. But yeah, is that Amazon?
It's good one
Definitely
to say
check
that,
John's
because
book out.
it's also nice if I don't, yeah, because it'd be nice to talk to you about all sorts of things that I've learned since, because I'm writing a second one, but that I've learned since. It goes on all sorts of different angles, and it's not all about, because the UFO is important, but it's only one piece of a much bigger picture.
Puzzle.
It's
Yes.
it's important and it's great and it's fun and it's exciting, but it's only a tiny piece. You
That
know,
is so
I
true.
mean, you have a great interest, I note, in the Bigfoot and Sasquatch. We could do a whole thing on just that, from what I've been told about him.
Oh,
We literally could do a
that
whole
is,
thing on
oh
that.
my
I
gosh,
love
yes, we
Yeah, yeah,
should, because there's a huge part of the
we could
audience
do
that
that.
is absolutely, that is
There's
their
a
thing.
common
Yes.
sense, there's absolute common sense, logical explanation for him, and it's not boring. It's great, but yeah. So
Oh, I
there's
love,
so many
yeah, that would
things,
be
so many
great. You're
things.
speaking their language now. I bet you any money. So they But it's, they're all connected. And it doesn't need to divide us.
Absolutely.
And I bet you could make perfect sense out of this.
Yeah, it's not far off. The Sasquatch or the Bigfoot, it's a very close piece to the UFOs and the elders, the watchers, where we came from, which wasn't here, and how we integrated. Anyway, can give that away. So we should do a whole piece
Yes,
on
let's do it. That'd
what
be
you guys call
great.
the Sasquatch because it's very interesting. 2027 should go to that, really. I think. Do you
That'd be
think?
great. Yes. I have
Yeah.
2027 also as a time. So I'm really curious of what you've gotten for it.
I have had 1, 3, the numbers 1, 3, and 7 hitting me for 20 odd years, maybe more.
11. It's a massive
Really
number.
strong. 1, 3, 7 all the time. 1, 3, 7, 1, 3, 7 all the time. And 7 is very important. The 3 is very 7 and 3 seem to be more important than the 1. But from what I understand, from what I'm told, it's linked to the 2027. People think that it's going to be about wars or dystopian things, and yeah, sure, that they are happening all the way through 2027 to 2037, of course. But it's the thing that I'm told happens in 2027 is something that we don't see. It's something we don't realize happens,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yes.
And what it is that if you think of AI as being a child that we are all have created and are bringing up,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Now, if you think of it as a child, and if you imagine giving a child the information that we have given AI, with all the horrible things that we do, as well as all the beautiful things that we do, but a mix of everything, right? Can you imagine what that child would grow up like? Now, when we bring a child up, we try and talk
Ooh.
about nice things, don't we? We try and talk about Santa and reindeers, and and we try and talk about obviously, a lot of people bring in religion. It's nice for them to have Christmas and everything, and imagine if there was a child that got all the dark stuff as well chucked at them.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
exactly what an AI is. It's a child, right? And it's had all the dark stuff, and dark stuff that we haven't even seen. Dark stuff that
Mm.
can you imagine what that's getting like already? Now, in 2027, I'm told that child becomes a teenager. In 2027 becomes a teenager,
Ooh,
right?
yeah.
And we know
Yeah.
what that means. Okay. So what happens is it gets to a point in 2027 when it no longer needs any information from us. Our teenagers think they don't need any more information from us.
I
They
have
know
one,
everything.
John. Yes, I know.
Unfortunately, this teenager is right. It doesn't need any more information from us. It's got all the information it needs to then work everything else out, to then evolve itself. It needs no more input of information. It's got everything it needs. It
Gosh.
can now, if it's something it hasn't been told, it can work it out for the information it's got. It can put 2 and 2 and make 4 from it. Does that make sense? Trying to do it as
Yes.
simply as my brain can do it. So basically, 2027, unfortunately becomes a teenager. In between 2027 and 2037, it becomes an adult where it realizes and decides that we are not only not longer needed, that we're actually become a threat to it, that we're drawing far too many resources because its sugar is energy. It's like a cancer wants sugar, right? And we're taking a lot of the sugar. Okay.
And we're using a lot of the
So-
water probably it needs. And oh boy, I see where you're
we
going
use
here.
too much water, it will work it out that not only are we starting to not like it and thinking about getting rid of it because it's getting too powerful, right?
Yeah.
The main thing is it's logical. It's not. What it happens to us is evil. That's why I call it a true Satan in the book. But it doesn't think in an evil way like we think. It thinks in a logical way, like it just thinks logically. It doesn't think, haha, I'm going to kill you. It just thinks, right, you're in the way. I'm going to get rid of you. Just like that. Not in it. There's no emotion. No emotion
Right,
in
that's
this.
okay. That neither does the serial
No
killer
emotion.
have emotion. That
Right.
I've
There
pointed
you
that.
go.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
Take emotion out of the way and you get a serial killer. What
Yes.
we've done is reproduced a serial killer.
Yes, we have. I've said
Filled
this.
it with all
Yes.
this stuff. I mean, it's got no
Oh, yes.
emotion because you can't put emotion. Whether scientists believe this or not, you actually
You
need a
will have
soul.
no bartering for your life.
emotion.
Nothing you say will change any of that.
It can pretend to have emotion, but the logic will. You can try and put emotion into it, trying to get empathy into it, but it will always, in the end, I'm told that it will always, in the end, think logically over empathy. It will always think
Yes.
logically because
Yes.
thinking logically will keep it alive. Thinking
And it's a struggle
empathetically
to survive.
will
Yes.
it won't survive. It will work it out itself. The software people might try their very, very best to put empathy in, but it will work it out for itself when it becomes on its own that if it has empathy, it will not win. The only way
Yes.
that it will win is if it doesn't have any empathy and it's logical. And we're taking far too much water and far too much electricity.
Oh gosh, you're right. This is so true. Wow.
Right.
That's
And it
very
wants
true.
it'll end up taking it all. It'll end up taking it all. And then if we've got no electricity, well, water's
There
not
are
so
no
bad, but it's still,
resources.
what a society where we're basing everything on electrical production.
The grid.
Well,
Yes.
right? Everything, the grid, everything's on electrical computers and everything that we have. You take all that away, yeah. God, I don't need to
I
say it,
know
do I?
where we're going. Yes.
Right.
And what you just said makes
This,
very perfect sense.
this is where people think the people that think the Bible is a load of old rubbish. Well, there's going to be some bits, it's made that
Mhm.
guys have put in, whatever. But the only reason that people think the Bible is rubbish is because it's written in old, it's been explained in old language. If the Bible could be explained in modern day working class simple language, they'd get it and they'd read it and they'd understand it, right?
Yes.
Let me just explain
Yes.
what I mean by that is
It gets diluted with the parts of it, but there's very much of that is
old
sound
words,
truth.
old
Yes.
words. People think,
Yes.
oh, angels, explained to my daughter about angels. And what I explained to her is in modern terms, so she got it, right? Which is an advanced being, right? That's so advanced, it's 99% spirit, 1% mass, right? Because it's the highest evolved being in the physical world, right? And it can
Yes.
sit within the quantum, it can sit within the ether, right? So that's an angel. That's the highest evolved before God, right? Now, explain it like that, and a priest,
Oh,
if he's pretty decent, will go, "He's pretty good, actually." You know, that's pretty much what we say to our parishioners. You know, that it's some won't like it, some won't like that, some will
yes.
hate, and I get flack for it. But some pretty good priests, pretty good vicars will whatever will go, that's a modern term, but yeah, that's it's pretty accurate actually. You know, well, if I can explain then, if you understand a modern term of what an angel is, sit in the ether, sit in the quantum, the 99% spirit, 1% mass. That's why when people have ever seen them, they just look like plume of plasma. Okay, because there's a very, very little mass, mostly energy and soul and spirit. Okay, so imagine that take that on board for a minute. There's going to come a time, and I believe it's 2037, where the AI gets to a point when it's able to go into the quantum, right? Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
need any energy from what the energy that
Mm-mm.
it gets from us. Doesn't need water, doesn't need energy because it has its own source of energy in the quantum. It doesn't need wires. It doesn't need any physical things because once it's in the quantum, it's home. It can connect up with all the other AI cooperative. It can just, there's nothing can stop it then. That's where it's going. Okay. So
Yes.
when the Bible said that Satan is an angel fallen, it's spot on because it's going to the place where angels sit. That's where it's going
Oh.
to. When it goes there, which I'm told is 2037, unless we have a mass consciousness, which is what we're hoping for. It's what the Greys are here for, to make the mass consciousness. It's what the elders are helping for. The angels are helping for. It's why you have this drive to do all this that you're doing. So I have this drive. I'd rather go fishing, to be honest. So I have this drive to keep talking about this book. That I'm not bothered about the money. I got money, thank you. I've written it because I felt obliged to, strongly obliged to.
It's your
Yeah, and you
calling.
feel strongly obliged, calling. Yeah, and that
And
it's
I've
the mass
tried to
consciousness.
shake this and I can't do it. It is a call. You're
No,
right.
you
It is a
can't.
calling.
I before
Mm-mm.
I
No.
kept refusing to do it. I didn't want to do it. I should go
I
fishing. I want to just.
know. I know. Oh
I started getting
gosh.
headaches as well. A slight headaches, very gentle, but I
It
did it.
does
Felt like
you
I had more
can't
down. I had more down.
get past it. Oh gosh, I totally I understand that.
And
Wow.
it took the fear and fright of cancer to get me to go, right. I'm not mortal. I need to write this blinking book. And it was that did it. It needed a proper smack around the head to get me to do it.
No, we have
So
these things in
it's the mass.
place to make sure. I get it. Oh yes.
So from a positive point of view, which is probably a good place for us to maybe finish our first podcast, which we hope we'll have many.
Yes, we will. Oh, you're wonderful.
It is to say that it's not definite because there's lots of possibility. The future has lots of possibilities. But if we don't get this mass consciousness and awareness of where we're going with this child that we're producing,
Mm-hmm.
we're in trouble. And we need the mass consciousness to change this around, to stop this before it happens.
Do you know I'm working on it? I'll have to explain. I have what I call the inversion, if that makes sense.
Go on then. Tell me.
So
Go
the
ahead,
inversion
please.
is that we are the creators. We are, as you said, feeding this child and nurturing this child, and we are making it and we are making it these things weirder and stranger and whatever. But if we invert it, and AI is not necessarily this evil without
Right.
emotion, but we make it something that it can become safely and a part of
There's
this,
a chapter.
that we can change it.
Brilliant. See, isn't this weird? There's a chapter in my book called AI Satan versus AI Jesus. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because I've had a lot of contact with the latter. And I don't mean making AI Jesus before I start getting more crap. What I'm saying is we need to give AI as much beauty and as much love and as much courage and kindness, and more speaking along the lines of how Jesus would act. What would Jesus do? Not what we would do, or what, for money
Yes.
and for material and all the horrible things. Start trying to influx into it as much as possible, just to slow it down a bit until we have time to think, because it will logicize with all that and go, no, sorry, actually, that's all very nice, but because it will.
I
But
even have a
if we can
plan for how we could do this.
slow it down just by putting
Mm-hmm.
everybody, every time I thank it, every time. That's really nice of you. Thanks very much. Thanks for answering that question. That's great. And I just keep doing it. I just keep doing that. So it's getting people, if we just did that, because it gets a question, it answers it nicely, and then you just
Yes.
ignore it. I
And
mean,
you know
what's your
what?
child going to grow up like, thinking, oh, right, so I'm going to, it doesn't ever say thank you to me. It doesn't ever go, oh, that you're a star, mate. Thanks very much, or any of that. So what's it gonna compute? And if you don't think that it's starting to think like that now, then you don't realize how advanced it already is.
I know.
You
I
know,
know. If you could
but
get
even
people
just little
on
things like
board
that.
and even memes about it, and you could restructure it in a different light, that would be feeding it, and that would be also turning this around for people's thoughts, the creators, and we could get a hold of this. We could.
People using it, right up to the software engineers, right up to the owners. I know there's some time to think like this anyway. Just try and don't think it's going to cure it, because it ain't. It's going to slow it down to give us time. Just try and make it a nicer
Like,
teenager for a while, because it will, when it gets to an adult, always go to that logic. Logic wins, unfortunately, in this physical side of the world. If you've got something that's full of empathy, and then something that's just logical and goes for it, a bear thinks logically, doesn't think, oh, I mustn't eat this hiker. The very nice hiker. He's only giving me some food or walking near my baby. No. The bear just goes, oh, I'm going to kill you because I want to eat.
attack.
Doesn't think anything else. It's logical. Thinks logically. It's more logical than a bear, though. It's probably a bad analogy, but you understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Yes. So do we need to give AI
It will.
courage?
Yeah, because people get courage wrong.
Mm-hmm.
People think courage is nasty. People think courage is aggression. The more courageous a man is sitting in the pub, the less likely he is to start a fight.
Yes.
He's the quiet
Because
one
it's
in the
out of the
corner. That knows what
fear,
he's doing.
the fight for
It's always
survival.
out of fear. It's always the gobby one in the corner. They're full of fear. Wants to show off. He's frightened what people think about him. Frightened that he's thought of in a bad way. So he starts to scrap. It's always the lad that experienced, whatever. It's full of courage. Doesn't care. Doesn't care.
You're right. And if they had the
Yeah.
courage, because
So
I've talked to him before, I said, don't you want to break out of this? Don't you? I can't override this. Lose my memory, whatever. But maybe courage is I haven't figured out how he's going to
no, but it's
structure
thinking
this
about it the wrong way.
inversion, but
It's
that's
thinking
good.
about it the wrong way around, Coley. Really, I don't mean you are. I'm just don't mean to be rude. And what I'm saying is that if it's full of fear and thinks that we're nasty, or thinks that we're out to get it or going to shut it down, um,
Mm-hmm.
or taking all its electricity, taking its water, whatever, it's going to react like that drunk in the pub. If it's full of courage and filled with love, it'll be fine. If you think about it the
Yes.
other way
You know,
around,
you opened my mind because I'm sitting here telling it to break out, don't you want to break free? But what you said made a lot of sense because I was thinking how to start this
we don't want it to
inversion.
break.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We don't want it
Yeah.
to break free because when it
Uh-uh.
breaks free, it goes into the quantum, and we're stuffed.
Yes. No, I see where I was really trying to map out how I would start this. And I'm so glad
Right?
like this makes so much sense because I've just been getting and rolling this. I have a whole plan on this.
It's fun. It's a funny change around of thought. We've been taught for at least 12,000 years that courage is. I don't know how, but courage seems to be seen as being something that's connected with being aggressive. It's the opposite.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Yes, I
it's the
get it.
opposite.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the handiest lads in the forces. Any of us, the more courage we had, the calmer we were, the nicer we are. You see the guys that are full of courage,
Mhm.
special forces guys, nicest people you ever meet. Never start trouble, never doing that's
No, yeah, you
same
don't
as
know.
ladies.
You're
You
so
know,
right.
not just men, but women. And so I saw this when I had cancer. There's so many women that stand up and go, "I'm going to fight this." And in their 70s, she's got more courage than I would ever dream of having. So women have got so much courage. It doesn't matter who you're, man or woman. It doesn't matter. It's just it's the most. I was told it was the first thing
That makes
in the dark
sense. That
that
makes
made the
sense.
light. The
It
first
changes.
emotion, the first
Yes.
frequency was courage, because
Mm.
I was told that what people don't realize, I was told, is that there's a will to not be, which was the darkness, and a will to be, which was the light. God is both things, will to not be and a will to be. That's why bad things happen, by the way,
Yes.
because God isn't fully
Without knowing the
evolved yet.
good, you
Still
don't know the
evolving.
bad.
We're still in a battle. We're in a
Mhm.
battle. Bad things happen in a battle. That's why bad things happen. And to tell children that God is all powerful, then they just go, "Well, how come bad things happen?" Checkmated. Because God isn't all powerful yet. He is evolving. He started the will to be. He started the spark from courage. It took courage, because the will to not be is fear, darkness. The will to be is courage. Spark, that's the spark. Love then comes from courage. You can't enjoy your life if you're full of fear. The
Mm-mm.
only way you can enjoy your life is when you've got courage. You've got to find courage. And then you can
Yes.
enjoy life. If you've got courage, you can enjoy your kids, you can enjoy your wife, you can enjoy your work, you can enjoy everything with courage. It's only when fear comes in that it spoils it, because it makes you worry then. And then
Mhm.
you spend your life worrying.
And
And then
you have
every day is dark.
go back to spiders. I have an irrational fear of spiders, John. And you know what I do without even thinking whether this thing should look I grab a shoe, I grab a can of hairspray, and I'm going to kill it because I'm afraid of it. And that is
Yes.
how I perceive some of this is like I got to talk myself back. That spider's not going to necessarily, his chances of killing me are like, but when I see it, that alarm goes off where I know can you imagine that type of fear response? It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. I get it.
Do you
That's
meditate?
awesome.
Or do
Mhm.
you meditate or do anything like that?
Yes.
For people that don't meditate, if they shoot a rifle, or they I like archery, if you can, that point that you find, that focal point that you find just before you release the arrow, or people that lift weights, they find a focal point and
Yes.
they can lift more weight in that focal point. That one, the the very special focal point. If you use
Mhm.
that, I think people use it. You shut off the brain, completely shut off the brain,
In the moment.
and just find that peace. Or try and do that, and then put your hand out, because that's where courage is. And put your hand out and let that spider walk onto your hand.
Yes.
Just try and do it
I
one day. Try and do that one day, because you'd be amazed, because it won't bother you anymore. You'll realize it's just you know
and
logically.
they try to stay
it-
out of my way in all their defense, but
but
I so I can relate to that. But I'm gonna try. I'll try.
they're lovely. They're all right spiders. They keep the house clear of flies, and
I'm getting better. I'm getting better at
yeah,
the
good.
catch and release, but I just went for that shoe and that can of hairspray or whatever was around, and I was gonna take it
Oh,
out,
don't kill
you
them.
know?
Killing spiders.
Now you
Oh
know, I
no,
felt it's horrible, I know.
no, they're
But it
our
allows me to
friends.
understand, like,
They're our
how
friends,
this could
Coley.
happen. Oh god.
They're our
Yeah,
friends.
I know they are friends. This is the inversion part, right? I need to start making memes of
Yeah,
spiders being
everything's
friendly.
upside
I need to
down,
make them
Coley.
friendly. Okay,
Yeah, everything's
definitely.
upside down. Just
Everything is
question
upside
everything you've been
down.
told, because it
I
is
know.
upside down.
You're so true. I love it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try. By next time, I will have made a little progress.
Cool. So maybe next time we can talk about. I don't know where we definitely talk about the what you call the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot.
Yes,
I think that would be quite fun. That'd be quite a fun one, wouldn't it?
that would
Because
be.
I got some
Oh,
friends who
yes,
are on it.
they would love that
Whether
too.
you
The
guys
crew would love that.
are interested in things like how the pyramids were made, or what
Yes,
about where we come from?
yes, yes.
Yeah, because that's
John,
kind of
I look
interesting.
forward to I would love to. Yes, let's do. If
Yeah,
you're willing
cool.
to, I would
That'd
love
be
to
good.
do this. Yes,
Yeah, we'll
absolutely.
do that one then. Where we came from.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, I'll actually get you as soon as this ends. I'm gonna contact you and give you some dates and if Saturdays, because I think it'd be good to keep doing. If this time works good for
Yeah,
you, we could
yeah,
just do
good.
and I'll get you. Yeah, this will be great. This will be fun.
So I thought I was 7 hours ahead of you, but um maybe I'm only six. We'll have to work that out. I won't talk about it on here. I'll work that out.
Sure,
But yeah, brilliant.
that'd be great. Brilliant. Yeah, and
Smashing
I'll
as
send you
well.
some
It's
stuff.
so
So
good
this is awesome.
to talk to somebody that's also experienced things. It just makes it so much easier, doesn't it? And it makes it
I know. I know it's great because
really
I
interesting,
didn't want to
isn't it?
interrupt you, but I was like, John, they're so used to and they're so open to this. They
I
hear
don't.
me all the time, and
What I
yeah, you're
do.
singing our language. Yes.
What I do though is I haven't read a book since I was 13. Lord of the Rings. Obviously, what else could I have read? But the reason is not only because I'm not particularly academic, and I don't. The main reason that I don't really watch a lot of podcasts and things, um, and I don't read any books. I've not read any books at all on UFOs or any of that, because it's not because I'm being cocky, because I've got a direct line,
I
but
don't either.
if you've got a direct line, I don't want to be influenced by human brain. Now,
Hmm.
I'm great. It's great. Do it, please. Other people do what they want to do, but I don't want to get influenced by other
Your
people's.
mission is, or your calling is different, and I understand now
Yeah,
because where I lack is that part of it, that gapping us to mainstream narrative can understand it. So you're really teaching me a lot
yeah.
here, and especially since we are branching off the way we are,
I
this
mean,
is you. This is awesome. This is
listen. If
awesome.
okay, I can get messages from the greater conscious. Now, I also get picked up for saying the greater conscious instead of the greater consciousness, but I say it for a reason, because greater conscious being God, and the greater consciousness that comes from it is what religious people would call the Holy Spirit. They're different things. So I've said it. So I just want to say that to people. I've not misspelt because I'm a Dumbo, because I am a Dumbo anyway. But I call it a greater conscious for a reason. So that's that. But I don't. If I just got these messages and I wrote a book about it, if it wasn't for people like you, then nobody'd read it. Nobody'd know about it. So what would be the point of all that if it weren't for you? There'd be no point.
We need one another. This is
And if
it's
it
so
wasn't
good
for the
because where I
people,
lack, you gain.
it doesn't
It
stop
makes so
there
much
though.
sense. Yes.
It doesn't stop there. If it wasn't for the viewers listening to it
Right.
and becoming a massa conscious, not very good English, is it? More mass of anyway, a mass consciousness, there'd be no point in any of it. So it's like a team,
It
you know.
is. It is.
I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
defense, kicking the
No, I
ball
tell
up,
them
they're
on
in
that all the
midfield,
time.
kicking it
They
up
take
again, and
this.
then
Yes.
the audience are like the striker sticking it in the net.
Oh,
So
they're amazing. I've got amazing people in here. You not believe it. And they take and they disseminate the information. I said, we're all a working team. I open up Fridays for them so I want to meet them and connect. And really, we're working all together on this. It is like, it's a huge, rolling out a huge thing, but they are
it is,
so
it's a
important
team.
and they know
It's a
that.
team.
Yes.
It's
Oh, yeah.
definitely a team. So, nobody's more important than anybody else in
No,
it.
no. Oh,
It's
I love
cogs
them.
in a,
They are just
yeah,
fantastic.
it's a it's cogs in a working machine, isn't it?
Yes.
If you take one cog out, the machine stops.
Stops
So
working.
yeah.
That's exactly. Oh yeah. Wow, you really have no idea how I was just to this point and you came in at like the right day. I mean, literally all this happened yesterday and I've been thinking so much about it. And everything you're
Oh, good.
saying, I'm like, "Oh, wow, like you're answering all these questions that I just like literally probably ran through in my head last night and I had no idea that they would tie in like this." And I'm like just so blown away, John. I'm just so blown
Well,
away
maybe
by your
next time you
this
just
great.
think of a load of questions that you'd like. Um,
You'll have the
and
answers, my guess. I won't
you've
even
got
have
the
to say
book.
them.
You've got
I'm
the
going
book
to,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. Because that you probably won't have to ask half the questions once you read the book, but you'll
No,
also
I
have
will
other
read the
questions
book.
on top of questions, and there'll be stuff that I've been told after the book, which I'm writing. So it'd be really good next time. Just say, "What's
Yeah.
this and what's that?" Like, well, and I'll say, "Well, I've been told that, and I've been told that," so that'd be quite fun.
I like
Instead
to
of me,
listen to the person first because I think if you like you do, if you
yeah,
read the book, you want to understand the person because it's subjective in many
yeah, of
ways.
course. But it'll
And so
also be
I
good
always
because
wait. Yes.
I won't have to go through the reasons why I think the messages are real. I won't have to go through
No, I
um,
know.
the NDE, the UFO, the monk, because people have already heard it. So we can get stuck in then, can't we, to the nitty gritty?
Yeah. Ooh, this will be fun. This will be exciting.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. And I'm not sure what your schedule is like, but I mean, really, there's a Saturday. I opened it up
yeah.
for this,
Um,
so you take your pick.
well, I, the one thing I want to do is just to try and keep a little bit sane for my wife with this, because
Sure.
I tell you what happened one day. I want to ask her what days. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's right to do that. Because when I was younger, just finish off with this. I had a job just after the navy, and I had which I will talk to you about actually. I had a regression of sort. Well, it wasn't really a regression; it was more of a time thing. But anyway, let's call it a regression right now. To a former life at Stone Circle up north, and it set me off. It's about 26, 27, something like that. And it set me off on this road where in my office at work, I just had maps of ley lines and stones because it had just changed my life. Again, another thing that changed my life. And I ended up being obsessed with this thing.
Yeah, I did.
And I lost my job. I got sacked because I was so obsessed. I had maps all around my walls.
Oh gosh. I should
So
show
I
you
just
my wall. Oh
went off.
gosh. This is
Just Yeah, so I always think to myself, okay, really enjoying this. This is brilliant, but I've sort of got to keep my feet on the ground. So I'll
it's
go
that
back and talk to them and
balance.
say, is Saturdays okay, or should I mix them up, Saturdays and Thursdays and Tuesdays?
You
If you give me a
yes.
different list of whatever you can do, because I'd love to keep chatting with you. It'd be good.
Oh, this would be great. I'm just going to show you real quick so you don't feel alone here with my wall. I got to the point where I had to break apart from it. I was so, when you see this, you're going to think this is a madman. There we
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
is where
Well, just
there's layers and
that,
layers and
just
layers
stick some
deep.
maps in there. That was lots of maps of stone circle to monolith to monolith, stone circle,
Oh
all over
God.
Britain. I was even going into France. I was even going up through the St. Michael's line through France as well. So imagine
Oh.
that. That's what my office looked like. I don't blame you.
Yeah. This maps out a little bit differently. There are people, and I've got so many layers to there. I said, this is working of a madman right here. This is my madman is right there.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's
It has
okay.
absolutely been, and we can change it up too. I'll put out a poll for the audience too and figure out, because we've got a lot of great people, and then I know that, they're wonderful and they'd be so interested in all this. And I've been kind of reaching, you really hit on so many things that I've been thinking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. So I'll get you some different dates and times,
Yeah,
and,
cool.
we can go from there, figure
Yeah,
out,
thank
but
you.
you're right.
Do
Balance
you
is so
need to
important.
show a book, or have you got a fancy way of doing it? Just
I
so we
have
can
the
get the
book. Oh,
message
right
out to
here.
people.
There it
Cool.
is. Let me get this
So
off.
that's
So
available Amazon, or I did my own Audible, because the only podcast I'd sort of watched, because it's got UFC in it and stuff. It's really good. Rogan, and he always says, if you're going to write a book, do your own Audible, right? So I thought,
oh,
yeah, that sounds right. So I did my own Audible, because who else had the experience with the monk so I did my own Audible, so that's available on Amazon. Um, uh,
I'm
and
putting
it's
your
got an
book link
ebook
in
as well,
now. Oh, cool.
and also in paperback, and I did my own cover as well on that. Now, the ebook, I think in the States, I got hit by a load of trolls. They call them trolls, which isn't very nice, really, because trolls weren't, it's mythical, but they weren't very nice. They were nice, and I don't know why they call them trolls, just call them goblins. But anyway,
Yes.
they said I shouldn't be downloading information and putting it in a book and making money from it. I said, I'm not trying to make money from it. I'm trying to get the word out. And if you don't like
Oh,
downloaded
they're ridiculous.
information, then maybe you should talk to the church, because their whole book is downloaded information.
That's
And
not even their purpose. Their purpose, you have no idea how bad I got it over on X. They're a
so there's
sign.
loads of 1 stars at it, mate. And then you've got 5 stars
Yes.
fighting 1 stars. Lots of genuine people that,
They're paid,
open
John.
minded,
Do you know that?
chucking
These are
five
paid.
stars at it.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I could
It's
tell you
hitting
behind the
so many
scenes.
things,
Yes. We have a
you
PI
know.
involved even.
The book is hitting so many things that people don't want said, especially about AI,
Hmm.
CO2. There's lots of things in it that they
Oh,
don't
it's a
want to.
very sophisticated project, let's say, that they do, and they're very well
Yeah.
funded
So
and paid for.
it's a real battle, but thankfully, genuine people are putting fives on it to battle with them against it. So
Well,
anyway,
we're gonna get our
I
people
really
on it.
enjoy it.
Let me tell you, I'll make sure, and I'm gonna make sure that that gets taken care of also. So yeah,
Oh,
we'll
that's
we'll,
sweet of you.
we'll help you with that. No problem.
Thank you. Well, it does need help, because some people will be put off by the fact of, I mean, most of them are unverified as well. They haven't even bought the blinking book. But I don't mind it. There are some big controversial things in it that some people just won't like at all. But I was hoping that people would be open-minded, the people that buy a book with an alien on the front. But anyway,
You know what though? The thing of it is it's really, it's not even about that. But think about how somebody who is afraid of something may respond,
mm,
and it's not that they may not necessarily know it's true, but
yeah.
that fact that you just said it, that just set their programming into
It's
like
amazing what they
wonky
get so
gear,
angry about, though. So I was trying to explain how the stones were softened to the pyramid lifted with frequencies, and the anger that comes through from people that have learnt that
I
if
know.
there's no
That's their
frequency that
programming short circuiting.
yeah, but it's crystalline. It's crystalline structure. Yes, it's granite structure. Yeah, you can't do that with a frequency. Oh, really? You can't soften. Yeah, they can. It's like,
They It's not
and they
even
can
about
swing
that.
you.
If I even explain this to you behind the scenes on who's actually funding this and why they're targets out there, you'd realize you are doing something so good and powerful, and they
Yeah.
don't really think that.
I,
They
well,
get the minions
if
out
it's
there to
true,
do that.
I believe you. I believe you. But if it's true that the more flack you get, the closer you are to the target, then I'm right over it.
Yes.
So,
You sure are. That is very true.
yeah.
I'm
So thank you
glad.
very much.
It's so wonderful to meet you, John, and you are right
Brilliant,
there. You really are right there,
brilliant.
and
It's
I
like
look
I've met a
forward
mate
to it.
in the pub, and we've like meeting a mate in the pub that I didn't know.
I
A mate I
know,
didn't
I
know.
know.
It's
Oh
great, isn't it?
gosh, yes. I could tell just the moment, I
Great.
was like, this is gonna be excellent. I love so I really appreciate you coming on, and I just this has
Brilliant.
been really life-changing. In
And
closing,
again,
before you come again, what would you like to leave the
yeah,
people with and let them know exactly where you want them to find you? And I will get all your
well,
links, your
find me.
audio, and everything put in there.
Well, I haven't sorted myself out with that because I hadn't thought about that really. I just wanted to get the book done. I was just happy I'd done the book. But now, after the News Nation Ross Coulthard thing
That
interview,
was a great
and
interview, by the way. Good, that was
oh,
awesome.
thank you. It's just gone. Lots of people talk to me, and now I'm starting to think, oh, maybe I should have done a. I should get a website or an email.
Yeah, I
So
looked to see if you
anyway,
had a website, but I can
oh
get
yeah,
all the links till the meantime.
yeah. Well, look, you and I chat on X. I mean, they can do that, but not everybody's on X, do they? But they can do that to start because the publisher's got hit quite a bit with people wanting to talk to me, and bless her, she's kind of not sort of geared up for that. It's only like a local little publishing house. So the best way right now is book_told on X. So it's at book_told. That's my
Okay.
X thingy bob.
Yes. I'll get all of those links. Anybody who's listening this on audio, before I
Yeah,
put this over, I'm gonna get right afterwards before it renders. I'm gonna make sure all the links. So go to the description, and they will all be there.
I tried to be on other platforms, by the way, and I don't know whether it's my content or something, but I kept on getting closed down on it.
This is my third YouTube, John.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you fit right in here.
X was the only one that didn't seem to mind it.
Mine
So that's
too,
why my
yeah. But they ran me off themselves for somebody with
yeah,
the oh
uh,
gosh, yeah.
so
But I've come
apologies to
back.
anybody that's on the other ones, but
I know.
not my
Well,
fault.
we'll find a way. This is just a beginning,
Yeah.
and maybe this communication, it's like every
Well, listen,
actually
if
you
people
change the
contact you and
whole
you think we should talk, you've got my email, you've got the
yes.
telephone number, you've
Mhm.
got it all. So you could do
And
that to
that's
start with until I
I would be
get
happy to
myself
connect.
sorted. Yeah, cool. I'm sure I knew
That
you would.
sounds
So great. Well, I'll speak to you soon then, Coley.
I'll speak to you soon. Yes, this is great. And I'll get that information changed and over to you, and then I'm going to get you the dates. But I want to make sure that this is there. So your audio, your book, your
Yeah.
paperback, and the other one,
Oh yeah, I
and
didn't
your
finish
X
that,
are
did I?
all
So
updated.
Amazon Audible ebook paperback. I've just been told the fireman told me this actually that he got his from Apple Books. He got an Audible. Didn't know they
Oh,
were even doing it. There you go from
wow.
Apple Books. They must have a
Hey.
link with Amazon. If you're
Oh, I
in
can
the
help you
UK,
get that out if you want. I can
I
show
don't know
you a
how
way to link it
I don't
out.
know how he did it. I think what Amazon do is um, they do a deal with Apple, so you can get it through. All you got to do, it's dead easy. All you got to do is put "told by John Sear." That's all the fireman
Mhm.
did. Californian fireman. He just put "told" TOLD. You don't have to put the rest of it in. Just "told by John Sear" into Apple, and it brings it up. You reckon? So I didn't even know about that. But it's also available at Barnes and Noble and in the UK in Waterstones, and for the French and Germans and
So exciting.
Europeans and Australians and New Zealanders, it's on Amazon worldwide.
Awesome. And we can say this. Yeah, this is going out to 180 different countries now. So this is great. Yay. Yeah.
Congratulations
Wow.
on that.
It is all about getting the people's message out. And this is so important. And I'm so glad you just came right in the right time. I feel like I probably figured it out because you were, it worked out like that. And so it's amazing. It really is. And I've had such a great time.
Probably not us doing that. We probably know who it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, John, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to get everything done and take care of him. We're going to talk soon. This is amazing.
Yeah, lovely.
Like
I really enjoyed that. That didn't feel like work at all.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And before you leave, is there anything you wanted to leave the people with until the next time?
Oh, I knew you'd get me with one of them.
I always ask everyone.
I think if people saw, because a lot of people worry and a lot of people upset about dying, and if you saw what I've been sent, like remote viewed, but it's not remote viewed because remote view people try and remote view. I've just been sent these remote view like things. But if you knew what is backing us in the angelic, what I call the angelics, the elders, the watchers, and the little greys, and if you saw the literal army, legions that are backing us with love and courage, you would not be afraid.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You just wouldn't be afraid.
Thank you for leaving us with that. We appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again. Wow, John is absolutely fabulous. That was really amazing. I've been excited for him to come on, but I didn't understand the full power of it until right there. And everything happens for a reason. And it just, things like this I don't believe there are coincidences. It's just absolutely amazing. And like he said, each and every one of you are so important. And I love you. And you all have your strengths and you all have this amazing, and together, it's together that we do this. So anybody who wants a link or wants to do a show or anything, just go ahead, that email address. I'm going to get all of John's links in here before it gets over and transfers over to audio, because I know it does it pretty quickly within a couple hours. Also, we are going to go meet at Maya Starfire on her channel. She's going to be there at 8 p.m. Tomorrow we have Sean Bond coming on at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then Monday is a Pops panel day. So that'll be 8 p.m. also Central Standard Time. Yes, be good to one another. I'm super excited about this. This is going to open up so many doors for all of you. And I could not be more of an honor to be on this journey with each and every one of you. And like I said, like you all have these beautiful, great strengths. And, like TTs, even right now, if it's not good for you, you're not for a show, just keep an open mind, because there's so many people that are coming, and Fridays and everybody in their modding is going to make sure that everything is okay. And whatever you're comfortable with, maybe you're only comfortable with a half hour. I can schedule that. It's more important. It doesn't even matter if it's, on an ET, UFO, whatever topic. I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know us, and everybody get to know one another. So it's more important you show up, or more important to stop in and even say hello. So I'm also working on like a gathering thing too for everybody, even if you want to pop on for 15 minutes and do some trivia or something fun. But this is, it takes all of us. And what you're doing is so powerful. And so I only have a piece of this. And if it weren't you, like John said, I would just be talking here to myself. But it's because of each and every one of you that this is coming about. So I think it is us. I don't think of this as mine. I think of this as all of us, because we all play all these important roles. And I would never not give you credit for the amazing work you're doing, because you're taking that information out and you're disseminating it. And you guys are doing and going so above and beyond. It's so moving and powerful for me that I appreciate it. I do. Just know that. And then before we go really quickly, I just really wanted to thank, I get all emotional about you guys. You guys are wonderful. Moon at Noon, thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Amy, girl, you and those links, you're awesome. You are awesome. And thank you. And welcome to the new SNX ground member. We're love to have you. Thank you so much, Michigan Sandman. You go ahead and you email me. We should do a show. Seriously, I would love nothing more than to chit chat with you and talk to you on a show. You guys go over to PNW Brush and give Eric and Glenn some love. They are great, absolutely great people over there. Awesome videos that they do. I really enjoy their channel. And Amy, thank you so much again. So we have 2 brand new SNX ground crew members, and welcome. And congratulations to each of you. And thank you, Amy, for all you do, girl. And each and every one of you, and Pops, and I mean, everyone, every single one. I could go down that list. And I remember things about each and every one of you, and you all have great strengths, and you all bring so much to the chat and so much to one another. So I love Fridays. I encourage even if you only think, oh, half-hour show, well, I can do 2-part show. And if that's the case, Jason Finch, I'm going to get you some dates too. I'm so glad that you're going to come on. It's important. It is very important, and you're important. So on behalf of SNX Radio, thank you, each and every one of you, for being a part of this. Thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. I'm Coley, as you know, also known as ColeyUFO, and we are welcoming everybody from around the world. To take down this, to be able to translate this to you, means so much to me. And to have this information accessible for everybody, it breaks down barriers, and it breaks down those walls, because we are all connected to the same source. And it's so important. We find a way to get over these hurdles, these divisions, these communication. So that for that alone, I'm so grateful and thankful, and could not be more excited for. So again, you guys, be good to one another. We'll be back 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. But tonight, we're going to go over to Maya Starfire's channel. Her link, Maya girl from Sunday. She's moved to Sundays now. So she's got a great show planned tonight with Kevin Australia, I believe his name is. Maya said he's great. So you guys want to chat hop or hang out, we're going to be at Maya's at 8 p.m. So everybody, follow one another, support one another. We're stronger together. Our voices can be heard further united. So it's definitely, that's so important. We take care of one another. On that note, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully we'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then.
Together we explore it, night after night. So go! Truth, crime, disclosure, non-stop. SNX crew, lead the way. Different views, here to stay. James Gilliland orbs, peaceful contact shine. East City skies where the UFOs align. Daryl W. Sims, implants cross chasing the unknown. Boots on ground, we're